Martinez, she'll take it all the way, lay it up and in. Big alley.
The following is a production by the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Lubbock High, Monterey, Coronado, and Estacado. All of them are perennial playoff contenders, wreaking havoc to every name on their schedule.
Oh, what a ball! What a score!
Elite? Yeah. A tradition of winning? But when did that tradition start? Was it the state championships that laid the foundation? The district titles that come on an annual basis? Or none of that at all? Maybe it's something more. And tonight, we are going to find out because the Boys of Fall are back. Presented by Lubbock ISD TV.
Are you ready? Because we are live from Lowry Field at PlainsCapital Park, the site of one of the most anticipated games of the season, as we're about to see the best in District 158 come together. The Coronado Mustangs hosting the Lubbock Cooper Pirates. And with that, we welcome you into the booth. Devin Ward here alongside Carson Ward. The Ward duo is back, and we couldn't be more excited. Carson, pumped to have you up here. Your Mustangs are getting set to host the Cooper Pirates, and we're set for a big one tonight.
We are, and I can't wait to see how this Coronado defense is going to continue to shine. We know that Lubbock Cooper has a great run attack, and I can't wait to see how they handle it.
The key is finding success and stacking success once you hit district play. Coronado has seemed to find their groove as we've gotten into district play, but here come the Pirates. They're always known to be doing great things. Let's get into some of the names we need to know coming into today, and we're going to start with the running back for Lubbock Cooper. Of course, they got a two-headed monster in Jaden Hibbler and Jackson Austin, but I'm spotlighting Jackson Austin tonight. Of course, Jaden Hibbler leads the offense in rushing yards, but then you have to worry about Austin. They have both of their running backs on the field at the same time. It is a deathly duo. Watch out for them tonight.
Well, and Jackson Austin has 23 carries for 298 yards. That might not seem crazy big, but that is plenty for high school ball, and it complements Jaden Hibbler's game beautifully.
It does. They have a really too good, but they don't go anywhere without the big guys up front. And so that's why I wanted to spotlight this next guy, Grayson Hubert. When you think of X's and O's type of person, the battle you want to watch tonight for Coronado is that offensive line versus defensive line. The O-line is always good under Lee Hayes and company over at Lubbock Cooper, and that's why I wanted to spotlight him tonight, because the big nasties up front are the reason why their running backs can do so well.
Well, and the offensive line in general just doesn't get a lot of love, and that's where the play starts. You know, you have to have the good blocks for your quarterback. You have to have the good blocks for your running back. That's just where the play starts.
The offensive defensive line is like the backbone of any team. If you don't got a good backbone, you're struggling a little bit, right? Let's go and look at Coronado now. Of course, we want to talk about Cyril Garrett. He is a big-time playmaker on the offensive side of the ball, and for real, he is Cyril when he gets the ball in his hands.
Well, and Cyril has built his reputation of being the guy that to go to when all else fails. You know, he has grit, determination, and a standard for himself, but he also has compassion for his Ohana. He pushes
his Ohana.
His Ohana. Coach DJ Mann right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
He pushes his team just like he pushes himself, and you can see it pay off. He is the true definition of a selfless leader for this Coronado team.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, like Carson alluded to, the defense has really been elevating lately behind Zakavian Washington. Washington is kind of a ball hawk for them, right? Currently, he's registered 18 tackles, 11 of them solo stops, multiple quarterback hurries. He's a big-time playmaker for that defense with a whole lot of other talent.
Well, and with 11.6 tackles per game, that's scary. That's
It
scary
is.
to look at as an offense, and I can't wait to see how this guy changes the game defensively.
Yeah, he's one of the guys Washington is that team's game plan for, and I'm excited to see him action tonight. I don't know about you, but we're ready to roll. Yeah, you ready?
I'm ready.
We got the Pirates and the Mustangs coming your way right after this. Kickoff moments away, and we can't wait to bring it to you. Presented by Lubbock ISD TV. All right, and we're back at Lowry Field at PlainsCapital Park on a warm but breezy Friday evening. It's late September. October is on the horizon, but we got some district football ready for us. It's Lubbock Cooper getting ready to take on Coronado. And Carson, this is a relatively new series between these two teams. The Pirates have a 4-2 lead over the Mustangs. And surprisingly, this is the first time that these two programs met on the gridiron was back in 2017. Coronado won that first matchup in 2017, but then won back in 2020, but currently on a 2-game slide against Lubbock Cooper. And realistically, this could be the final time that these two programs meet because, of course, Lubbock Cooper ISD just opened a new high school called Lubbock Cooper Liberty. There's the kickoff, and, of course, Cub Patton, a guy with a lot of offers for Lubbock Cooper, kicks that one onto the track. That is an impressive kick.
It is an impressive kick, and especially from a high schooler, you know? We normally see those kicks from college athletes.
Right. Yeah. Of course, Cub Patton has a lot of Division I offers, and we'll get into him a little bit later on into the game. I had a stat saying that he's scored 20% of all the points this season for Lubbock Cooper, so that tells you how impressive that young man is. But here comes this offense for Coronado tonight, and the starting quarterback is Dom Parrish. Parrish had a great game against Paladuro last week, and he's getting the start here tonight.
When you just wonder what this transition between Vasquez and Parrish is going to do for this Coronado offense.
Oh, and here's the flea flicker on the first play, trying to go over to the middle to Surreal Garrett's going to be overthrown, but here comes the dirty laundry early on.
And I think that might have been what Coronado was looking for right there. Not necessarily to hit the deep shot, but to maybe at least get a penalty.
Well, when you try to spread the ball out like that, it's going to hold the defense accountable. Of course, we're going to hear from Nathan Blackwood, our official for tonight, and I believe we already did. He is the LCU head baseball coach, but trying to go over the top on the first play like that, Carson, will open things up in the running game as well.
Well, and it just sets a tone for the offense in general. Like you said, it could open up the run, but I think it's going to continue to open up the pass. I think they're going to continue to look downfield and look for that deep shot whenever they find it.
Of course, Isaiah Vasquez started the season out as the starting quarterback for the Mustangs. Went down in that Paladuro game. We were expecting to possibly see him here tonight. They tried to get Lubbock Cooper off sides, and they didn't there. Parrish getting out of the pocket, tucking and running. This is something he does really well. He's going to gain 6 on the play. That's something that the Lubbock Cooper defense is going to have to watch for tonight, as Parrish is the kind of guy that isn't afraid to go north to south as the quarterback.
Well, and I think this Lubbock Cooper defense is actually going to be focusing more so on Demarion Finch for the run game. But like you just noted, the Parrish can run the ball, and he's going to whenever he has a chance.
He's going to tote the rock. Got trips there on the far side for 2nd down and 4 from 46. Again, the hard count almost gets Lubbock Cooper off sides. It's going to be a direct snap to Demarion Finch, but they'll blow the play dead. We're going to hear from our officiating crew again.
Number 55, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Okay, so it's going to be a false start. It's the second time, though, if we saw the defensive line for Lubbock Cooper kind of bite on that hard count and be able to get back before the play started.
Well, and that just goes to show how aggressive they want to be this game. And that's what I love about football, is that it's just an aggressive sport overall. And I feel like the more aggressive you are, the more fun it's going to be.
It also, but the more aggressive you are, the more the yellow laundry might be out there on the field, right?
That is true.
All right, still the same formation, and it's going to be a timeout on the field. Coach DJ Mann and company look like they're calling a timeout, and they will. Of course, all of our timeouts this season are presented by UMC Children's Hospital.
Coronado.
Thank them for sponsoring our timeout. And I also want to give a shout-out to Chick-fil-A tonight. They ate some good chicken down there at the truck tonight. Some said it was juicy, some said it was really good. You know, you love to hear it.
You do love to hear it.
So we want to thank all of our wonderful sponsors. Of course, we'll have commercial breaks that show a QR code, and if you're interested in sponsoring our broadcast this season, we'd love to talk to you. Of course, Coach Mann, for the first time in Coach Mann's tenure leading the Coronado Mustangs, the Mustangs are coming off back-to-back road wins. That's a fun fact, especially since they're starting to find their groove at the right time, right? You want to be able to be playing a really good brand of football once you hit district play. And, of course, Coronado started the season 0-3, but now they're 2-0 in their last 2 games. And they're coming into this game with a lot of confidence and a lot of mojo.
And I think it's really been focusing on the defensive side of the ball. I really think that the reason why they've been able to get this 2-game winning streak back after losing 3 straight is because of their defense. Their defense has stiffened up and has really made the other offenses work and work around them.
22.
Somebody we're hearing a lot from tonight is our officiating crew. I believe that's already our 3rd or 4th penalty to get things rolling, and we're only a minute 14 into this.
You just hope to see that that's not going to be
a trend for the game?
A trend for the game, yes. I was trying to think of the word.
I got you, Ward.
You do got me.
All right, so here we are, 2nd and 14 from the 36. Of course, Parrish in at quarterback. And it's an RPO. Parrish keeps it himself, and he's going to be dropped. After a gain of maybe a yard on the play, multiple white jerseys were going to make that tackle, but I'm going to give Cade Hayes the play there, the defensive lineman.
Well, and I would like to note some of Demarion Fitch's stats so far. He has 48.2 yards per game, and then his biggest game was 15 carries for 105 yards against Abilene Cooper.
Ooh, okay. Of course, Abilene Cooper's a good program.
They are a good program, and whenever you can run the ball like that, it's going to set you up for success in the future.
And Parrish is going to get sacked on the play. It's Hayes once again with a whole slew of other Pirates. He had a lot of time in the pocket there. Of course, you have to have a mental clock as the quarterback thinking, I got to get rid of this ball. And he's going to go down for a major loss on that play. It's going to be 4th and 23.
Well, and it's just really hard as a quarterback to want to run away or to want to scramble whenever you're trying to get that first down, and the best shot of doing that is keeping your eyes downfield.
Absolutely. In the pocket, he stood in the pocket really well, and that's really impressive to see for a junior that's getting realistically some of his, he played in the Paladuro game, but this is his first start in a big game against a new rival in Lubbock Cooper. So here comes Jared Owens out to punt. The left-footed kicker kicks that into the back leg of one of the Mustangs, and it'll be down at about the 48-yard line. It was a low punt for Owens, but he's a new guy on the roster for him. Of course, he started at the Paladuro game last week, and of course, last year he was in the booth with us.
He was, and I've always played pickup football against him whenever I was younger. The kid has always had a boot. He always has.
Of course, we saw him taking reps at wide receiver, but here comes this Lubbock Cooper offense for the first time. Of course, they have a two-headed monster themselves in the running back room, but Ryan Rodriguez, the starting quarterback out there with Jaden Hibbler to his left. It's going to be a snap, and it's going to be a handoff to Hibbler. Great cut. He is super quick. Going to the outside here. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. A flag comes flying in as he gets pushed out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Just a great, hard, physical run right there. And it really starts, like we noted earlier, with the offensive line, just creating those blocks and setting them up.
Holding on the offense, number 3. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
All right, so it's going to be from the spot of the foul. So a great run there to get things started by Jaden Hibbler. Of course, it's going to truck it back 10 yards. Here's that instant replay, though. Great seam there off the left tackle. It was a counter call there for Hibbler to get that big gain.
And counter runs are really interesting because you fake out the defense going one way, or at least you attempt to, but then it might also throw your offensive line off on what blocking assignment that they need to cover.
Right. Well, and it's all about the eyes, right? Everybody on the offense has to sell that counter for it to work, and it did there. Rodriguez handing the ball off to Hibbler once again. Back-to-back carries for the senior running back. And he's going to be tackled after a gain about 2 on the play.
Well, and Hibbler has 480 yards this season on 56 attempts carrying the ball. He has 6 touchdowns, and he has 8.2 average yards per carry. But one thing I would really like to note is that he has 114.5 average yards per game.
He is a stat sheet filler for the Lubbock Cooper Pirates.
He is.
That is the truth. And he is a name that a lot of Lubbock ISD fans know because he was at Monterey last season. So here we are, 2nd and 8 from the 31. Rodriguez going to the air. It's going to be a screen pass. Caught by a Jackson Austin. Trying to spin away from a tackle, but great open field tackle by Alan Gant to limit anything from happening on that play.
And that's just the first glimpse of seeing the two-headed monster that you were talking about earlier with Jackson Hibbler
Jackson Austin.
Jackson Austin and Jaden Hibbler.
Let's call him JJ tonight.
JJ, okay, we'll do that. But it's the first glimpse we just saw of that, and it'll be interesting to see, do they go in a 2 running back formation?
Oh, they will.
Or are they going to line one up at receiver or do like a jet sweep type motion?
Well, right now, Austin is lined up at receiver. You see him moving on your screen. He is the motion receiver. Rodriguez going to the air, feeling some pressure from his front side, having to scramble. The Mustang defense is trying to eat him alive there. He'll gain about 4 on the play. It's going to be 4th down. Of course, the Pirates have a great kicker. We've already alluded to it at the start of this broadcast. Cub Patton. This is definitely field goal range for him, but it looks like they're keeping the offense out there.
And I like the call. I think a lot of the times for 4th downs, I really think it's a statistics game. Like percentage-wise, what's your chance of getting a first down? And especially on a 4th and 4 and deep in Coronado territory, I don't see anything wrong with going for it right here, just to set the tone for how you want to play the game.
Big down for both sides of the ball. Coronado jumps off sides. It's a free play for Rodriguez. Going to the air. Oh, man. Oh, is it going to fall incomplete? I guess he was out of bounds, but what a snag there by Michael Dever.
That penalty's declined. Result of the play, first down.
Carson, if Dever was able to keep his feet in bounds there, that is a Sports Center top 10 kind of play there. The way he was able to maneuver his body to be able to keep it in bounds.
I think he did because they're moving up. That's why I wasn't talking. I was confused on what happened, on what the call was, but they said he caught it.
That's impressive. Dever been able to haul that in over the shoulder, keep his feet in bounds. It's going to set up from 4th and 4 to 1st and goal from the 3-yard line.
And now we see the 2 running back look that we were just talking about.
Yeah, and it's going to be a handoff to Jackson Austin. Bouncing it outside, he's going to hit the blue turf. Give him 6. Touchdown, Pirates.
There is some dirty laundry on the field, though.
Oh, and he's doing the stanky leg in the end zone. We're going to hear from our officiating crew.
Line, touchdown.
All right, the penalty's going to go against the Mustangs, and you heard there, they struck up the band. The Pirates take the early lead.
Well, and as you mentioned, they have 2 stud running backs that will willingly bruise whoever's in front of them. Jaden Hibbler, who's averaging, like I said, 114.5 yards per game on the ground, is a pound-for-pound runner, but his accomplished Jackson Austin is the same way. These guys are physical and can get after it. It'll be interesting how they utilize the X Factors tonight.
Absolutely. The extra point up and good. He kicked that so far that it went off the Lubbock High logo on the brick wall over there. That tells you the kind of leg Cub Patton has. So it's 7-0 Pirates on top of the Mustangs. Here's another look at the instant replay as he hit a great block there on the edge by Marcinkowski to not allow the outside containment. And for Jackson to hit that corner gives them the 7-0 lead. Let's take a quick pause, huh? How's that sound? Sound good?
Sounds good.
Pirates on top of the Mustangs, 7-0. When we come back, they'll be kicking the ball off. You're watching Lubbock ISD TV.
PlainsCapital proudly supports high school football on the South Plains. The official ticket sponsor for 2022-23 Lubbock ISD athletic year is HEB, a proud supporter of Coronado Mustangs in all Lubbock ISD schools.
All right, got a good swig of water there. We're ready to get back rolling. Of course, the Pirates drive down the field on that opening drive, go gutsy on 4th and 4. Paid off as they find the pay dirt. And again, another great kick. All the photographers on the sideline need to keep their head on a swivel, Carson, because Paul down there almost got hit.
They're going to be worrying about getting all the pictures in. They might get boinked.
There might get an extreme close-up of a football about to hit them in the face, right?
They might. They
on a
might.
Swivel. So back comes this Coronado offense. Second time around, they had 7 plays on their last drive before Jared came out and punted the football for them. They're wanting to get something going here.
They are, and I think they're going to start trying to lean more on the ground game. We saw them take the deep shot the very first play of the game, but it almost makes you wonder, what is the coaching staff thinking whenever it comes to passing the ball? Are they going to want to continue to go deep, or are they going to want to start going short?
I want to see him go deep. Here's a handoff, though. Or not a handoff, the quarterback keeper, Tom Parrish. He's an athlete on the paper on our roster here tonight, and it shows right there. That's what athletes do right there. Direct snap to him, and he gains a first down.
Well, and what's nice about that play is that's a read option. So you're reading what the defensive end is doing. Is he charging, or is he going to contain possibly for the quarterback scramble on the opposite side? Parrish making the right call right there.
Yeah, he read that like a book. Oh, here's some trickery here on first down. A direct snap to the running back going nowhere. On the carry was Andres Flores. Flores there, they did a little shift pre-snap, Carson, to shift them over from the guard into behind the center, and I kind of like that little pre-snap motion.
Well, and I haven't seen them do this year. I don't know if they have or not, but they might just be trying to throw the defense off. It's nice because that's a wildcat look that turns from a normal two-headed dragon type formation into the wildcat, and that could be a very, very important and vital formation to possibly throw off the defense like I mentioned, but also maybe to get a big play.
The wildcat's a fun formation to watch, that's the truth. Parrish is going to keep it again. The Lubbock Cooper defense smothered him right there. Coming to make the tackle was Cole Stanzioni.
And I think the Cooper defense started really realizing, hey, Parrish is going to run on us if we let him. So they're starting to, it looks like they're starting to expect not only Finch to run, but Parrish as well.
So this is the time, Carson, right? The defense, they're biting on the run. They've done it the last few plays. This is where you kind of try to, for real, hit Cyril Garrett on a pass play.
Well, I think on a 3rd and 11 down like we have right now, I do think you're going to be looking in the air, but you have to go to your most reliable target, and Cyril Garrett is definitely that.
He's one of them. The Mustangs really starting to hit their groove as of late in the last 2 games, and they want to continue to stack success. Rolling to his right is Parrish, trying to sling it on the run. It's going to be short. It's going to be 4th down.
And you see the bootleg right there, trying to move all of your blocks to the right side of the field or the short side, and just trying to get that play to move to the short side of the field. And Parrish just tried to fit that ball in between 2 defenders that were running the same way. That's just a hard throw.
It's a hard throw, especially on the run.
You're throwing on the run. Your feet are not set. It's a hard play to make, but he almost made it happen.
He did. So after a 1-play first down, 4 plays later, the Mustangs are punting, and Jared Owens gets the friendly bounce. Great roll there, and it's going to be down at the 28-yard line. He flipped the field right there, Carson. That's pretty impressive.
And for the 2nd game starter.
Yeah, and all the coaches are giving him fist bumps. That's what you want to see from your punter, right? You want to see a guy standing at his 20-yard line when he kicks it, flip the field and put it at the 28.
When I talked to him actually yesterday about what spurred him to be the punter, and he actually told me that the coaches asked him to be the punter. He didn't necessarily want to try out.
Really?
That's what he told me.
They knew his history.
They must have.
Right. So here comes this Coronado defense for the 2nd time. The Mustangs have been known as a high-flying offense for a long time, but now they're starting to play some big-time defense with some great complementary football. They're figuring out what works on the defensive side of the ball, and it's been working for them the past few weeks. But as of right now, Cooper's trying to expose something that they can find in this defense.
Well, and I think that goes in part to Coach DJ Mann just not necessarily focusing on the high-powered offense that they've had in the past couple of years. They're not worried about getting 400 or 500 yards on offense. They're more so worried about what's working, and as of late, that's been the defense.
Right. They say offense wins games, defense wins championships, right?
They always say that.
You know, when I think about that, I think of Peyton Manning back in the day when he was playing for the Broncos. They would score like 14 points a game, but their defense was so elite that they could do anything. It was an option play there, and Rodriguez keeps it himself. He's got a whole lot of green in front of him. He's got a defender coming behind him and strips the football away. Alan Gant steals it from Rodriguez. What an impressive play, and Coronado turns the ball over. I got the chills. They're multiplying, and I might be losing control up here, Carson. That was a big-time play.
That was a big-time play, and it wasn't even a fumble. That was just, hey, I'm going to take this ball from you. You're being a little too loose with it.
He came in over the top. Now, I'm pumped to see the replay of it. He came in over the top and punched the ball out like he was punching a punching bag. Absolutely beautiful there. Oh, and this is going to be the angle to see it on from camera 2. You see Rodriguez running with it. Gant showing his elite level speed and just punching it out at the perfect time and stealing it away. I hope Rodriguez is okay because he was down on the field for quite some time afterwards. But Alan Gant, you see why he's starting to receive offers and looks from these major schools. He showed out right there.
Well, and like you noted earlier, this is a newfound rivalry between Lubbock Cooper and Lubbock Coronado. And you almost wonder if there's some bitterness that was like going into that play. Like, hey, I want this ball because so-and-so's carrying it. You never know.
You never know. And it's a lot of the times these guys know those guys on the opposite side. We say that whenever Coronado plays Monterey, or back when the Spurs would happen, right? Monterey, and they know each other. A lot of these guys probably grew up on the same baseball teams together. And so you're right, Carson. It probably is a little personal to a lot of these guys. 2nd down and 10 from the 8-yard line. Parrish throwing it this time. Caught by Cyril Garrett out of the 11-yard line. Maybe the 13-yard line. And he's going to be dropped right there. A gain of 5.
And I think that play had potential to be a much bigger gain than just the 5 yards if Parrish was able to get that ball out a little bit quicker, put a little more zip on the ball. Like we said earlier, Cyril Garrett is a very reliable target. He'll be able to handle those bullet passes that could come to him.
I think they call those A balls, right? They have A, B, C, and D, and it's about the amount of strength you put on it, right?
I think so.
Here's Parrish, 3-step drop. Looking to his right, caught by Cyril Garrett. That's enough for a 1st down. Move the chains. Coronado's moving.
And going to their big-time playmaker, we highlighted him for a reason.
Yeah, we did.
And the homecoming king is getting involved early. I like it.
He's the homecoming king, huh?
He is.
Dropping some knowledge on us. Of course, today is homecoming for Coronado. We saw a lot of mums and garters down there in the stands. I saw one today in our class, Carson, in your class specifically. At the ATC today, they have lights in them nowadays, and I was like, man, that's really cool.
I think they're just trying to spice things up a little bit.
Absolutely. It's going to be Damarian Finch. Oh, getting hit behind the line of scrimmage, but bouncing off of it. Oh, and he's got a 1st down and more. He's got to get across the 50, and he'll be tackled down at the 40-yard line. After getting popped behind the line of scrimmage, he bounced off of it and gained a 30-plus on the play.
Well, that's just being a hard physical runner, because the harder you run, the more susceptible to being just bouncing off of other players you are. And it sounds weird, but that can be a great play if you are able to bounce off of your lineman or off of another player.
That's why you got to wrap him up and take him down, right? 1st and 10 for the first time in Pirate territory for this Coronado offense. Parrish feeling some pressure, looking downfield to throw, but he's going to tuck it and run. And getting tackled by the ankles after a gain of a few on the play was Cole Stanzioni.
Man, if he was just able to decide to take off with it a little bit sooner, he would have had at least 8 yards instead of the 3 that he got.
I'm going to counter you once again. As a person that as a coach, they always teach your quarterbacks, think throw first, right? He wanted to throw the ball down the field, and a smart play there before tucking and running. On 2nd down, it's going to be a gain of maybe a yard on the play as that pass is caught by Damarian Finch.
He is labeled athlete for a reason, though.
Yeah. I like him as a quarterback. I like Parrish. There's an element that he has that he's got the size, he's got the speed. He looks like a guy that could run north to south on any given play, and clearly he's shown so far he can throw the ball. He looks like a complete package at quarterback.
He does, and he honestly, now that you mentioned that, he reminds me a lot of Donovan Smith. Just the play style.
It's going to be a direct snap to Parrish, and it's going to be 4th down. That Lubbock Cooper defense met him at the line of scrimmage and didn't allow him to go anywhere.
Well, and like I was saying, just a similar play style, but also they're doing the same thing with Parrish, Coronado is, as Tech was doing with Donovan Smith, just putting him in on the read option plays, and whenever they necessarily want a QB run, he's there.
I think whenever Donovan was at Friendship, they ran a sprint, right? They would throw the ball too, so.
Yeah.
But I see your comparison. Definitely do it. The same size, stature. Does he have the poise that Donovan had too at Tech? I want to see that, right? But this is start number 1 for him. Parrish getting rocked. It's going to be a sack on the play for Lubbock Cooper. Sidney Veille with the play.
And I couldn't tell if that was a blitz or not, but no matter what, that defensive line just got through the offensive line like it was nothing.
So that's Sidney Veille. I apologize for the mispronunciation on the name. Veille, a force, 240-pound sophomore for Lubbock Cooper, and swooping in, and that's a turnover on downs now, right? After a great run there by Damarian Finch, the Mustangs stall out, and that could be a little deflating for an offense, but see if the defense can force another turnover.
And that could be, like you said, could be very deflating, but it's always how you bounce back. It's not necessarily how you get going, it's how you bounce back. It's how you bounce back from adversity. It's how you bounce back from something bad or something not going your way.
So it's going to be a throw this time by Rodriguez, slightly overthrown, and will be incomplete. He was trying to, it looks like number 2, Cub Patton, scratch that number 3, Michael Dever. From up here, it looked like number 2, to me, Carson. We're lucky tonight, though, because these two teams have uniforms where we can spot the numbers tonight. It's whenever Monterey wears their whiteout uniforms and they have the light blue numbers, it's hard to see.
It is really hard to see. I like it whenever Monterey wears their black jerseys because then they got that, it's the white number but with the blue outline, and it just makes it pop. I like that a lot.
So here we are, 2nd and 10, 5 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Rodriguez is going to hand it off to Hibbler. Trying to cut it up behind the tackle. He'll gain about 7 on the play, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. It's Pirates 7, Mustangs 0. And I tell you what, you can feel the juice, you can feel the energy. This feels like a big-time game tonight.
It does, doesn't it?
It's got all the ingredients for something special, and we're going to get to see it start to brew and cook, right? In the second quarter, we'll be back with more action right after this. Pirates on top of the Mustangs, 7-0.
My name is Lily.
I am one of the many Lubbock ISD TV students learning professional broadcast skills right now.
We have the opportunity to work with professional equipment during our high school sports coverage.
Learning skills that have allowed many of our students to work college sporting events with professional networks.
If you appreciate our coverage, we hope you'll consider one of our sponsorship opportunities.
Your support will help our program continue to grow, providing funds that allow us to learn using the latest broadcast and streaming technologies.
If you'd like to support us,
contact Kenneth Dixon with the information on your screen.
And thank you for watching.
Quarter action presented by Lubbock ISD TV. In the first play of the second quarter, it's a big one to the 20 and 15. The Pirates are going to score. Touchdown, Lubbock Cooper. It's Jaden Kennard with the reception and the score. That's a 45-yard strike right there.
And I don't know if you saw that block right there at the end of the play, but that was key to him getting in the end zone right there.
It was the receivers that were committed to giving those downfield blocks. You know, we always talk about the blocking from the offensive line, but the receiving core can also block as well.
And when your receivers can block like they can and like they sometimes do, it sets up not only the passing game, but it also sets up the running game when you want to try to get outside the numbers.
Absolutely. The extra point up and good. It's now 14-0 Pirates on top of the Mustangs. I understand we have a sideline interview with our very own Tristan down there on the sideline. Let's go ahead and send it down to him now. Tristan, standing by with Mr. Huber.
We had a great 4-day week. I think the highlight was our community pep rally. We've never done that before, and we had it Wednesday night. The bleachers were full. We had the Stang gang. Really good week. The student council and the cheerleaders and the Palm Squad decorated the school. It was beautiful inside the building this week, and we just
Rally went.
I thought it was great. I could not believe how many people came to the community. It was awesome. The parking lot was full. Mackenzie sent its cheerleaders and their football team over to be a part of it. We had about 200 elementary kids that ran through the helmet. It was a great event.
All right, Principal Huber, and back to you, David.
Thank you so much, Tristan and Mr. Huber. Of course, Mr. Huber was my principal back whenever I was a 5th grader at my intermediate school. And so I've known Mr. Huber for a long time. He's a great guy, and I know he's doing great things at Coronado.
He is a great guy, and I have been really impressed with how he's handled the new role at Coronado. You know, being a principal is by no means easy, and he's just been making those connections, making those relationships, building on those relationships with his students, and just making everybody feel at home when they come to school, and that's what I love about him.
Oh, and I've always told he knows everybody's name.
He does.
He knows everybody's name, and he's going to shake your hand, look you in the eye, and it's awesome to see. So we got some of the stats from the first quarter, courtesy of our Lubbock ISD stat crew over there. And Carson, what stands out to me, of course, here comes Coronado on their first drive of the second quarter, is that they're at negative 48 yards of total offense after 1 quarter. Of course, Lubbock Cooper just drove down the field and had a big touchdown, so our stats for them were not accurate as of right now. But on this first play, they're looking for some positive yards.
They are, and I mean, that's the goal for any offense, is just getting down the field. It's not necessarily about every big play or about every touchdown. It's about every first down. How many first downs can you get to set up a field goal opportunity, to set up possibly a big play? It's focusing on the next first down.
Absolutely. Taking what the defense gives you. That's your line.
That is my line. You stole it.
I had the window, and I'm here for it.
There you go.
2nd and 7 from the 33 now. Parrish sending his man in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Demarion Finch, lowering his pads. Going to gain a pretty substantial amount right there. It's going to be 3rd down and 2.
And just a great run right there. Like we always say, 4 or 5 yards every carry is going to be key, because if you get 4-yard carries 3 times in a row, that's easy first down.
Move the chains.
Move the chains.
That's all you can nickel and dime your way down the field. You'll take it, because at the end of the day, it's going to lead to some points. All right, here we are, 3rd down and short. It's going to be a keeper. Parrish didn't get it. The Cooper defense stopped him. The play will be blown dead after a loss of 1. It's going to be 4th down and 3, and here comes the punt unit.
Well, and I think if you're the Lubbock Cooper defense right there, I think you were expecting a run, because you've seen that Parrish has been running, not necessarily at will, but he's been running whenever he wants to against you. But then you also know that Demarion Finch is also running against you, so you're almost selling out for the run right there. If I'm the Lubbock Cooper defense, that's what I'm thinking of.
So here's Jared Owens again. This time the wind to his back, and so he's looking for a big punt right here. He hits the sideline, and it will go out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. That wind, you know, in Lubbock, our guys are used to playing in the wind. That's just part of living here, right, Carson? Today it's about 18 to 20 miles an hour, and that can make a difference in the punting game, but it also can make a difference in the passing game as you try to stretch the field offensively.
Well, and it just goes to show that the higher you get your pass, or the higher the kick goes, the further it's going to be, which means that you're either going to be leading your receiver too much or perfectly or whatnot, but also your punts can get a lot more hang time.
Ooh, that's my lingo right there. Hang time, man. You want good hang time, because that allows your defenders to be able to get down the field, to be able to defend the punt better. So here's 1st and 10, handoff to Hibbler. No, sir, Willie Parker wasn't allowing it. Great stuff there from the outside linebacker. Carson's diving through his stats. He's got something good on Willie Parker.
Yep, there we go. I had to find it for a sec. Coach Mann has to be excited about his linebacking core, with Sakavian Washington and Willie Parker both averaging above 11 tackles per game. This Coronado defense is a certified no-run zone.
Certified.
Certified. I know I would be thinking twice before running in their direction.
Well, and that's what Lubbock Cooper does really well, right? They are elite at running the football. When you look at their offensive stats, it sways heavily towards the running game, and you see why. When you have a two-headed monster, a good coach will coach to your talent, and that's what they have. As Hibbler avoids a tackle and hits that far outside edge, cutting it back in. Parker coming from his outside linebacker spot to make the stop there, but that's going to move the chains.
Well, and when both of your outside linebackers are averaging 11.6 and 11.4 tackles per game, you're going to be excited about that, like I just noted. This is going to be, it's going to be very hard for offenses to run against them as long as they're containing their zones.
They got to keep their outside containment, especially with how elusive the running backs are for Lubbock Cooper. 4 wide receivers, of course. Hibbler to the right of Rodriguez. Some pre-snap movement. It's going to be a handoff to Hibbler. trying to spin his way out of a tackle. No, sir. Gain of 2 on the play.
Just great pursuit angle right there by the Coronado defense, and it's really nice whenever, as a coach, whenever you see your team going and making the play as fast as they can. I think that's one of the biggest, like, smiles you can get as a defensive coordinator.
Absolutely. Abraham Ragland went downhill. It was not a east to west kind of thing. He went north to south to make that tackle. So 2nd down and 8, ball to 36. Cooper, a unique trips formation here on this side. It's going to be a screen pass. And Coronado was all over it. Alan Gant stopping that play before anything could start.
And that goes to show that you were saying earlier, just tackling with your arms, making sure you get a good grip on the guy that you're tackling before you put all your body weight into it.
You see that Gant there, he broke down before the receiver and didn't allow him to be able to get around him there. That is signature tackling right there by Alan Gant, especially in the open field. Don't allow the offensive player to get around you.
When it's like you've mentioned before, that just goes to show that they have great coaching.
100%.
And that they're retaining what their coaches are telling them, and that's how you become a much better athlete than you already are.
All right, timeout on the field. 14-0 Pirates on top, and we're going to take the timeout with us. Of course, all timeouts are presented by UMC Children's Hospital. We'll be back with more high school football at Lowry Field right after this.
Hello, my name is Nevaeh.
Hello, my name is Isaac.
Hello, my name is Abby.
And I'm one of the many Lubbock ISD TV students bringing you tonight's live stream.
If you appreciate our coverage, we hope you'll consider one of our sponsorship opportunities,
Your support gives us the opportunity to travel to state and national competitions,
where we represent our entire district in audio and video production contests.
Last season, our students received multiple awards in Skills USA and the Student Television Network.
If you'd like to support us, contact Kenneth Dixon with the information on your screen.
And thank you. It was a 15-14 loss for Coronado at the hands of Lubbock Cooper out in Lubbock Cooper. And as of right now, the Pirates have got 14 points, but they kind of remember that from last year, right? When teams lose and they barely lose by just a play or two, they kind of circle these games, right? And then it makes it personal for these Coronado Mustangs. It's 3rd down. Jackson Austin is going to lose a yard on the play. It's going to be 4th down.
Well, there were too many positives, not really too many, but there were a ton of positives for Coronado in last year's game. It's unfortunate for Coronado whenever you get beat by a 60-plus yard field goal. You know,
that's how it ended. Yep.
And that's exactly how it ended. But that's impressive. You can be a spectator, you can be on one side of the field or another, but that is impressive by any means. Because that's a high score kicking a 60-plus yard field goal, and that's hard to make.
No, 100%. Here's 4th and 8. That's why we're going to talk about Cub Patton a lot tonight. Rodriguez, a lot of time, going over the middle, caught. It's going to be a 1st down and more. At about the 17-yard line on the reception is Gage Peepcorn.
Well, and that's a bad thing. One of the disadvantages of running a zone formation, a zone play on defense is that you might be covering your zone, but it's so easy for the receiver to stop mid-route, find the soft spot in your zone, and get wide open, just like Gage Peepcorn did right there.
Yeah, absolutely. He found that you're exactly and it was right between the safeties, right in the center of the field, between the hash marks. He was able to find the seam in the defense, and it's going to be 1st and 10 in the red zone for the Pirates. They're at their 18-yard line. Ooh, the pistol formation to get this thing rolling here. It's going to be a keeper for Rod Owen. He's going to pitch it to Jackson Austin. He's going to hit the outside corner and give him 6. Touchdown, Pirates. It's now 20-0. The option, the old school style of running, paying off for the Pirates.
Well, and that's a variation of the triple option right there. You can either hand it off to your first running back, or you could keep it yourself, or you could pitch it like he just did to Jackson Austin right there.
That is, when you have that many options on a play, it's so much for the defense to have to handle, right? And then Lubbock Cooper has all the weapons as they extend the lead. So here's Cub Patton for the extra point, and he sends that one up and through. He sent that one sky high, didn't he? He kicked it way over the goalposts.
He did. He might just be trying to keep his leg warm in case he needs to hit a 60-yarder.
Right. That's the truth. So it is now 21-0. Of course, the Pirates on top of the Mustangs. So Coach Darden on Coronado. Of course, Coach Darden was hired on as the head coach of Lubbock Cooper back in 2019. They've been playing, he said that they've been playing great defense for a long time. Last year and the year before, really stood out to Coach Darden is that they're playing with a lot of confidence. The Mustangs are heading into tonight. And after rolling through a tough non-district, they're hitting their stride in district. But right now, to start things off, the Pirates, they're doing what they want to do.
Well, and now if you're Coronado, you have to go back to what was working in the past 2 games because that's what you've been comfortable with as of right now. You've been trying different formations. You've been trying different runs that just haven't been working. Now it's time to figure out, okay, are we going to start trying to pass? Are we going to try to start running outside of the numbers instead of inside?
Oh, and that's going to be a flag on Patton. He was trying to kick it to that pylon in that back corner and not allow any return by Allen Gant, but it's going to become a flag. So ball will be placed at the 30. The Mustangs got to go 70 yards here on this drive if they want to find the pay dirt, Carson. And down 21-0, if you're Coach Mann and company, the time's now.
Just like you mentioned, the time is now. It's crunch time. You have to get at least a field goal right here because momentum, Big Momo, it's been toward Cooper all night. And if you're Coronado, you need something to go your way.
I had somebody this summer tell me that they didn't believe in momentum. And they're like, where does it live at whenever it's not on the field? And I told him it was in between the ears. As a big play here, one play, move the chains, completion to Surreal Garrett. But I was saying, it lives in between the ears, right? It's always there. It's a mental aspect of the game is momentum. If you believe that you guys have momentum, then you have it.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's a very, very true statement because on paper right now, Cooper has the momentum, but I also think it depends on how you go and approach the situation. Like, even though Coronado's down by 21 points, they could still have this little gear rolling that's saying, hey, we got momentum right now as long as we get a first down.
Right. Here's Parrish stepping up in the pocket, having to tuck it and run. The defensive line for Lubbock Cooper can get after the quarterback, and Parrish, he's not having much time, right? He has enough time to drop back, step up into the pocket before he has to get out of there. Quickly back to the line, 2nd and 7 now, 5:50 to go. Parrish looking to the sideline. See the coaching staff down here calling the plays, Carson. Each of these guys have their different hand signs that the guys look at, and it's really cool to watch them call the offensive plays.
It is cool, and I think it's even...
It's creative.
It's creative, but I like it more whenever they have the signs. It just makes you wonder what each sign that they're holding up stands for.
Right. Well, and it's a lot of time hand signals. It's like a baseball coach down there at third base telling their guy to steal, you know?
Well, and then, but on those big signs that they hold up, it could be like a Texas Tech double T. It could be a bear claw.
It could be something random.
It could be anything.
Yep. So 3rd and 10 after they tried to go deep there to Surreal Garrett, just slightly overthrown. And it's going to be 3rd and 7. I kind of like that because it is a one-on-one matchup over there at the top of your screen.
Well, and Surreal Garrett is...
Oh, feeling pressure immediately is Don Parrish, and he goes backwards at least 15 yards. It's going to be a sack on the play. Getting credit for the sack is going to be Jackson Sewell. Sewell got to him quick. He's a 6-foot, 240-pound junior. And you can tell he's an athletic player on that defensive line for Cooper.
Man, he got to Parrish quick.
So here comes the punt team again with the wind to their back. They're going to look to try to move the ball, but here's the instant replay of it. He had enough time to survey the field for half a second before Sewell got to him. And, of course, Ben Purser as well getting in on that play. Good snap. And here's the punt. And that's a good punt right there by Owens. Gathered in at about the 28-yard line. The Mustang special teams trying to get on top of him, and he'll be tackled at about the 41. I would say it's a great punt by the former Lubbock ISD TV student.
It was. I mean, I told you he had a boot.
He has a boot. He's a lefty. And you don't normally see left-footed punters, but I like it. He looks natural out there. We would always talk about how he was a punter when he was at Slayton before he came to Lubbock ISD, and proud of that young man.
He's a good fella.
He's a good fella. I'm a big fan of Jared. Big fan. All right, 1st and 10 now for this Pirate offense. Besides that one strip fumble, the Pirate offense has been perfect driving down the field. They've been 3 for 4 today. as they drive the football. It's going to be another option. It's a reverse option this time. Cutting it back up, has a blocker in front of him. Looking for more blockers is Michael Dever. And Dever, you know, he was one of the names that I'd highlighted coming into today, along with Marcin Kowski and a whole slew of other players like Kennard. And they're showing why they have so many weapons, right? They're getting the ball to a lot of different people, and that's when this Lubbock Cooper offense has a lot of success, is when a lot of other people get to touch the football.
And that's really what you want as an offense, is just getting as many players the ball as you can, getting as many playmakers involved in as many plays as you can. And I can't express enough how important that is for an offense. I mean, the more people you get into the ball into the hands of, the harder it is for the defense to decipher, okay, who are they going to?
Well, and it also adds a little confidence to each guy, right? Hey, they're getting me the ball, right? You always see on the mic'd up series on the NFL sidelines, players are upset. They're not getting the ball.
Right.
And so when you spread the ball out like that, there's a lot of confidence that goes around the team. It boosts the morale of the team because everybody is distributing the ball equally. But like you said, Carson, it keeps the defense on their toes. 2nd down and 4 now from the 27. After a huge play on 1st down from the 41, we're now at the 27. Hibbler at the carries, cutting it back up, but great open field tackle by Abraham Ragland. He's got enough for the 1st down, but if Ragland didn't take him down, he was going to the end zone.
And as a defensive coordinator, you have to be happy about that, because you're trying, if you're Coronado, you're trying your hardest to stuff every single line that Cooper is playing, and you're trying to stuff it at the line, because they have almost been able to do whatever they want this game.
If their running attack can get into that 2nd and 3rd level, it's trouble, right? And so you need your defensive line and your linebackers. We heard Coach talk about it in pregame. If they stop 12, and if they stop, who was it, 4, they're going to win the game. That was a direct quote from him. He was down there talking to his guys, and that's going to be a gain of a handful on the first play on 1st down. What was the direct quote?
He said two direct quotes, actually. First one being, tackle 4, tackle 12, we will win. And then his second one said, it's a personal challenge to stop the run. He told his defensive line that it is a personal challenge to want to stop the run.
Make it personal.
Make it personal.
When you play teams that run the football like Lubbock Cooper does, it's about intensity, it's about grit, and it's about toughness. You got to want to, and that's what he's talking about right there. He wants the team to make it personal.
And he knows that these players have probably known each other close to their whole lives, and they want to make sure that that his team is being as aggressive as they can to stop everything that they can.
Ball start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 12 now. If you're Coronado, you like that right there. You want to be able to back them up every chance you get. Because right now, in the spot that you're in, if you're the Mustangs, you got to be out. You need to be a brick wall here if you're this defense and get a stop here.
It's crunch time. It's crunch time for the defense. I mean, it's hard for if you're your defense. It's hard. You're realizing it's hard for your offense to get the ball moving, to get the ball down the field. So the momentum has to start with you. It has to start with the defense. That way, hopefully, your offense can get something going if something goes the defense's way.
And earlier, when Gant stripped the ball away from Rodriguez, we kind of felt that a little bit, right? The defense inserted in some mojo in that moment to be able to get some momentum on that sideline. Hey, we want to thank everybody for watching tonight on the Lubbock ISD YouTube channel. Of course, without you watching and liking and subscribing, we don't get to do all these fun things. And of course, we want to thank our students for working tonight. Carson, we got students on every single position here tonight. And I told you I wasn't going to say it, but I'm saying it anyway. You'll love to see it.
You love to see it. And I'm going to say thank you, too, because I don't tell my fellow classmates and even the younger students in LIC TV how much I appreciate them. And I want to come out and tell y'all I appreciate every single one of y'all.
Yeah, we're talking to you in the truck and you on the cameras. We appreciate you. Good stuff there, Carson. I like it. Of course, our timeouts are presented by UMC Children's Hospital. We want to thank them again for sponsoring our timeouts this season. So Cooper didn't like what they were seeing out there. They called timeout, they reassessed, and here they come back out here on offense. of course, I think Rodriguez has done really well today, reading the defense and giving them what they can, right?
I really think he has. I mean, he's been able to make the right decision at the right time.
And he made it right there. He was about to be sacked for a loss on the play, but getting rid of it at the right time, Zakavian Washington was the one that applied the pressure there. We'll put that down in the stat column as a quarterback hurry, because if he wasn't there, he would have had more time to be able to survey the defense and possibly throw that down the field.
And it makes you wonder what he would have done, because he was already scrambling out to his left prior to the rush. It almost makes you wonder, was he thinking about taking off and running for it? Or was he, like you just said, looking down the field, possibly getting a touchdown through the air?
This is the 7th play, or the 8th play of the drive.
I'll start on the offense, number 3, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So the 7th play of this drive is going to back them up another 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 17. Still in Cub Patton's field goal range with the wind in his face. But as of tonight, you know, we've seen them in field goal range before go for it on 4th and 4. And so this Pirate offense has been moving the ball efficiently tonight.
It just goes to show how they want to play this game.
It's going to be another false start.
False start on the offense, 29. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
All right, wash, rinse, repeat. We're about to do this again. It's going to be set 3rd down at 22. It's kind of cool to see how far away that 3 is from the end of the chains.
It's interesting, that's for sure. Mr. Ward, you want to know what have been really big about the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, you know I want to know.
Small victories.
Small victories, I like that. A defensive stop here would be a small victory as Rodriguez hits Hibbler, and he's going to score. Give him 6. Touchdown, Pirates. Jaden Hibbler was left wide open and right next to that left seam, and he scores.
Well, and the way that Jaden Hibbler caught that ball, it was on his right side, and so it made the ball be away from the defenders. Both the defenders on his right were facing the complete opposite direction of where the ball hit Jaden Hibbler in the hands, and so it just made Hibbler basically walk into the end zone.
He was trotting backwards and whenever he did go in for the score. So here's Cub Patton stutter stepping. It was a rough snap, but somehow he puts it through as Austin gathers it on a half of a step. Cub Patton puts that in, and the Pirates extend their lead. It's 28-0 with 1:41 to go. Here's that instant replay of it, Carson. He was avoiding the pressure there from Willie Parker, and like you said, the ball was placed in a spot where he could catch it and go the opposite way, and he trots into the end zone. See Coach DJ Mann down there with his team. He is a great motivational speaker. I enjoy listening to him speak, especially when he's talking to his guys. You always see his guys get fired up for him.
And I think that's just the culture that he's instilling in his players, not necessarily that the players already had, because one of the great things about being a coach is that the atmosphere that was once there can change through you.
The culture, the little things, the little wins, as you were talking about moments ago, which I'd love for you to expand on if you would like in a second, as this kick here is by Cub Patton. It's not his traditional type of kick. It's an end-over-end kick. It'll be fair caught at the 25. Talk about the little wins, Carson, that we were talking about moments ago.
Well, the fact of the matter is every sport that you play is a game of momentum, right? So if, in this case, you're down by 28 points, Coronado needs to be looking for those small victories, because a small victory, if built with a little bit more of momentum, can lead to another small victory. And it's a chain reaction. It's like a domino effect.
It is the domino effect.
The more small victories you have, the more big plays are going to amass from it.
It's what I like to call stacking success.
There you go.
Stacking success. It's going to be a false start against Coronado on the first play of this drive.
But it also goes with short-term memory. You have to have short-term memory in every sport that you play, because if you don't, you have the very likelihood, the very big chance of dwelling on it.
Absolutely.
And it constantly being on your mind, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's how you handle it.
I think that's why baseball players do so well at you know, that's why we always talk about baseball, right? If you bat 1 for 3, you're going in the Hall of Fame, right? If you bat 33%. And so that's why you got to be able to flush it and move on to the next thing. And, right, in those little moments when you are defeated, that's why I think baseball players are so great at playing a lot of different sports.
I agree, and it goes to your mindset. It goes about how you think of things, because anyone can have a small victory at any given time, and it's just how you capitalize on it that really defines what could be or what could have been.
So tonight, of course, Carson is in the booth with us tonight. He's a senior at Coronado, and I'm always impressed with you, man. I hope you know that. I always brag about you. He did 4 pages of homework tonight, y'all. He came out and he was messaging me last night at like 11 o'clock or so. Nah, probably like 10. But you were doing your homework and you wanted me to proofread your stuff, man. And that's why you're the standard up here, man. It's awesome to see.
I just wanted you to proofread my homework and make sure that it all sounded right.
It does.
And all of it.
Carson's well prepared, and it's showing on the broadcast. So it's going to be 4th down. The quarterback keeper didn't really go anywhere. And the Pirates call timeout. They're going to have some time left on the clock after Coronado punts his ball away.
Well, now they're trying to think of, all right, we might be able to get in field goal range. We know Cub Patton has a boot. And a boot is an understatement.
Yeah.
And now you're wondering, okay, if we get this to the 40-yard line, he probably has a good chance of getting this through.
Yeah, I want to talk about him real quick. So coming into tonight, he had contributed, Cub Patton had, to 30 of the 144 points that the Pirates had scored this season. It's a little over 20%. It was like 20.5% of the points that the Pirates had scored. Cub Patton is a big-time kicker at the high school level, and without a doubt, Division I talent is written all over him after he graduates from Lubbock Cooper. I've seen him on like recruiting trips at various Division I schools on Twitter, and you've seen it firsthand tonight why he's getting it, right? He can just kick the ball. He can do whatever he wants with it out there on the football field. High snap to Owens. An end-over-end kick. And Hibbler's going to grab it at the 31. Kind of dropped it a little bit, and he's going to be stopped. The special teams there for Coronado doesn't allow the electrifying Hibbler to do anything there.
And I think it was the bobble that kind of started that, because if Hibbler didn't bobble that, he was going to have 2, 3, maybe 4 yards of space to possibly get ahead of steam going. But since he bobbled it, it let those Coronado defensive backs just go and push in and get closer to Hibbler before he could even get a step going.
It's the old looking downfield before you gather it in is what got Jaden Hibbler right there, of course. So now with 16 seconds left on the clock, Lubbock Cooper, in 0 timeouts, Lubbock Cooper was thinking they could do something on offense here. You need to stop here if you're Coronado. You got to think they're working sidelines or just handing the ball off, and they hand it off. And a great run. It's going to be tackled at about the 40-yard line. But that's probably going to do it right there for this first half.
I was about to say, I wouldn't be surprised if they handed it off to Hibbler or Austin, because especially Hibbler has been able to run the ball at will against Coronado this first half.
That was Branson Carlisle on the carry, but there's the buzzer to end the first half. Pirates on top of the Mustangs, 28-0. Lubbock Cooper Carson has done a lot of great things on both sides of the football in the first half.
They have, and they're looking good. They're running the ball effectively, which I have been really impressed with. But they've also passed the ball when they needed to, and that's really been the difference maker in the score in this game.
So when we come back, we're going to have highlights from across our Lubbock ISD district and so many awesome things coming your way during halftime. And then, of course, we'll have the second half right here on Lubbock ISD TV. Stay with us. We'll be back with more right after this.
Welcome to Highlights. I'm Erin Gregg, joined by our production team of Lubbock ISD TV students. Providing students with the best opportunities to learn is a goal for all of our teachers, and that means being creative in the classroom. At Bean Elementary, 4th graders are utilizing technology and flexible seating to support their studies. Let's watch.
What does gravity pull towards the most? The ground. The ground.
So my students are using a presentation through PLTW curriculum to find out what 4 forces help a plane fly.
We're learning about aircrafts, how they push, pull, and lift and thrust.
So they're working on with iPads, going through the presentation at self-pace, looking for missing words to help them learn about those 4 forces.
The sentence, and then we're putting blank stuff, and it's actually like puzzles, and I really like it. It's really fun.
We're learning good about them because we can work together in groups, and we're using iPads and electronics to help us.
My iPads are really great. Actually, I had them when I was working in kindergarten through a Donors Choose grant, and my students go to PE immediately after me, so bringing their Chromebooks is not really an option for us. So having this technology available in the classroom really helps them be able to work in small groups and participate in the lesson without having to carry their Chromebooks to and from PE.
It just helps because when we work together, we put our own questions together and just help each other. And it's just perfect.
So I really like flexible seating. The kids get to come in and choose where they want to sit and what learning style they work best in. So I've got traditional chairs and tables, I've got wobble chairs, I've got floor tables, I've got a couch, I've got a big futon for big kids, and I've got little couches for little kids, and they just choose to work wherever they're going to work the best. If they're not making good choices, then I'll make their choice. But for the most part, they know where they work the best.
It's good because they pay attention, and then they need help, and then they ask each other.
But it's very fun.
Lisa Thompson is joining us in studio today. Lisa is our Executive Director of Payroll, Benefits, and Risk Management, and we're talking about our upcoming Lubbock ISD Health Fair. So Lisa, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, this is the 3rd annual Lubbock ISD Health Fair, and you have been the champion of this event from the very beginning. And so let's start by just talking about why you think this is so important and why you really thought it was important to start something like this in Lubbock ISD.
Yes, well, 3 years ago, we identified there were some opportunities to help our employees know more about the health plan, the services and resources available to them from the district as well as the community. Knowledge is power, and there's so much available to them, and it's a one-stop shop. They can get their wellness screening, they have to schedule that, they can get their flu shots, they can talk to benefits experts and help enroll into benefits. And in addition, there are many community resources there and available information, door prizes, free hearing screenings, and all sorts of things that have been very well received over the last 2 years. This will be our 3rd year, so we're excited about it and expect this one to be even better this year.
Well, and what great timing too, because October is when we do our annual benefits enrollment, and so it really is a place where you can go check all those boxes and get everything done that you need to get done and ask all the questions that you need answered.
Yes.
What are some new things, because we've talked about some new exciting things happening at this year's fair. Tell us about those. What can people expect?
Well, we're excited because we're actually going to have some food trucks there, so that's exciting. We always have free food and water and those kind of services, but some food trucks there. Also, we'll have some aesthetic services, free or at a discounted fee for our employees. And we're continuing on some of the great services that we've done free, like hearing screenings and some other things like that. Lots and lots of information, and we really encourage everybody to come out.
If people have questions, where can they go to find more info?
They certainly can call our risk management office. They can call my office. Happy to share that information with them. I sent out an email today about what's coming forward on the benefits, so there's some contact information and links there also that we encourage them to look at, because the link to our employee benefits booklet's there, so they can start looking now to see what the benefits options they have for 2024.
Lubbock ISD Health Fair, hit us with the details. When, where, what's happening?
Yes, Saturday, October 7th, 8 a.m. to 12 noon at Lubbock High School cafeteria. Free entry. Your family is more than welcome because there's free services for them also. And food, drink, and lots of education and information. Please come out.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to be there and see everybody. And thanks again for joining us and sharing some information.
My pleasure.
Always. Now let's go on location with Sydney Kim.
Hey everyone, we're on location at Hodges Elementary where the Texas Tech Global Music and Dance Program is here to teach students about music, dance, and art. Let's take a deeper look.
2, 3, 4. We invited the International Culture Center. It's an on-the-road program. It's called Global Dance and Music. And they came and they spoke about the different dances and cultures and customs that were global. They focused on England this time, and in Brazil they talked about samba. 1, 2, 3.
We used a stick and a hat.
A stick and a hat. And what did you do with the sticks?
We hit the partner's stick.
For the England portion, they were coal miners, and they got to tap sticks and learn a traditional coal mining dance, and they got to dress up with their sticks and their hats.
Everyone say samba.
Samba. In Brazil, they talked about samba and carnival, and they got to paint their own masks.
What are you doing right now?
We're making masks because it was one of another tradition of Brazil.
And what did you learn about Brazil today?
That they did the samba.
The samba. And what is samba and bossa? And what do they all look like?
Samba was like you used to do like karate, but not actually hit people. They made a little changes to samba. So like they just like put drums and they just step up, step down, step up, step down.
Now, here's a real question, Jackson. Do you like to dance?
Yes.
When's your favorite time to dance?
Like if ever like there's music or if it's my favorite song, I go.
No.
It's really great to have community members within the school districts, and being able to ask and answer appropriate questions is one of our critiques that we focus on here at Hodges in speaking in complete sentences, and it's a great opportunity for them to practice those skills on unfamiliar adults and also how to be a good audience.
What was your favorite thing you learned today here in the library?
Had to do the samba.
How to do the samba dance? Do you like to dance? Do you like music? What's your favorite music you like to listen to?
Dance Monkey.
And what do you think the importance of teaching kids about cultures at any age?
I think cultural diversity is such an important learning aspect within a child's life. It broadens up their perspective, and not everything happens in Lubbock. That doesn't mean that it's not important and there's not other human beings. It makes the world more human.
Art, music, and dance are a fantastic way for students to learn about different cultures and express their feelings and emotions. Speaking of performances, this month there will be a ton of different shows going around the district. To learn more, go to LubbockISD.org and search up Fine Arts Calendar. Until our next location destination, it's back to you, Aaron.
Thanks, Sydney. Phyllis Underwood joins us now. She's visiting with another one of our partners in education, Buckner International. Phyllis?
We're excited to be in the studio today. I have a guest to introduce to our viewers. This is Jasmine Mendez, and we have a lot of partnerships with Buckners, but I know recently you and your team had gone out and done some teacher appreciation things. So how did that come about?
We always have a ton of our children that go to LISD schools, and Centennial Elementary has been the home elementary for our Lubbock campus. And so just in kind of the spirit of just one, LISD staff has always been so great in communicating with us, supporting us and our children and our families in our programs. And so we just wanted to kick off the school year with a good motivation and something encouraging and positive. We all know in our program too that teaching is tough, and especially that first couple of weeks when you're transitioning from summer to school. We just wanted to just say we appreciate all the staff and admin and teachers, and we are always there to support them, and we thank them for everything we do.
And y'all went to Centennial, but where else, Jasmine? Because it was 2 or 3 schools.
Yes, we went to Centennial, Rush, and McKenzie.
Okay. A lot of our Lubbock ISD families and kiddos are supported by Buckner. So
yes.
Tell us what that means.
Yeah, so we have a couple different programs with Buckner just in general. We have our foster care and adoption program, which of course when support with LISD and Buckner, what that really looks like is making sure that our children are getting the appropriate services that they need while they're in school. Okay. And it's a lot of course, like the communication between the teachers and staff to make sure that happens inside and outside the classroom.
Right.
We also have our Hope Center, which our Hope Center's primary goal is to strengthen families. And so one of the things that they do, and it seems like every year it's a few different schools that the Hope Center partners with, but they do different kind of classes and programs within LISD schools, such as like programs that help with our kids and help teach our kids just healthy self-esteem, like boundaries, life skills and things like that. And of course, we've been in the Lubbock area since around 1957, so we've been serving Lubbock communities for over 65 years.
It's a long time.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you'd like our viewers to know?
I mean, we offer a lot of services, but there are services we don't offer. And the worst thing that you could do is just call us and say, hey, is there any way you could support our family?
Right. Yeah.
And we can kind of step in and see what we can do. Again, the worst thing that happens is that we say, here are XYZ number of people that we can connect you to. And that's a step in the right direction for that family and their children.
Well, Jasmine, thank you so much for coming out today. You have a lot of information and appreciate your time and definitely appreciate the support.
Thank you for having me. I love being here.
Thank you again to Buckner International. If you would like to become one of our partners, you can contact Phyllis with the information on your screen. And you can check out our past partner stories online at LubbockISDTV.com. Coming up on the calendar, we will not have school on Monday, October 9th. This is in recognition of Indigenous Peoples Day. And our Board of Trustees meets on Thursday, October 12th. Board meetings start at 7 a.m. and they are held in the boardroom at Central Office. We broadcast our meetings live here on Lubbock ISD TV, and they're also streamed live on our Lubbock ISD YouTube channel. We have one more new principal to introduce you to this year, but while she's new to the position, she's not new to her campus. Let's meet Principal Lindsay Sobrad at Honey Elementary.
I'm Lindsay Sobrad, and I'm the principal at Honey Elementary. I started my teaching career in Lubbock ISD at Hardwick Elementary School as a 4th and 5th grade teacher, and then I had the opportunity to become a principal fellow through Texas Tech in partnership with Lubbock ISD, and so I went to Stewart for a year. And of course, that was the year we shut down with COVID, and so my first year as assistant principal was the year we returned from COVID, and I've been an assistant principal at Machen, Dupree, and at Honey, but it's always been Honey and another school, so I've been here for 3 years, and I'm excited to be principal here because I was the assistant principal. I don't have to go out and meet students and teachers and families because I do have those relationships, but I really want to work on deepening those relationships with our families and also our community partners. We're situated in this really wonderful part of town where we have a lot of businesses and we're just not really reaching out to them. Also, I want our students to know that there is a bigger community outside of our building. And so we're looking into ways that we can serve the Lubbock community and then ways to bring in more people from our district and community in to read to students and, so that you can just strengthen those ties between our students and the people outside of our building. The excitement of a new year, it's new beginnings. The kids roll in and the parents are a little bit nervous and sometimes the students are a little bit nervous, but just being able to greet them and ensure them that they're in good hands. Our staff is prepared. They're ready for kids to come in the building. We have new administration. We have quite a few new staff members. And we have a lot of new students. We have new specialized programs on campus. And so we're just anxious to, pass on, we have a lot of rich culture and traditions here. And so just spreading those to more people as our enrollment increases.
We wish Principal Sobrad a great year, and we hope you've enjoyed meeting our new campus leaders. To stay connected with your student's campus, we recommend downloading our new Lubbock ISD app. It has a lot of updated features to help customize your experience. Our new app is free and easy to download. Just search for Lubbock ISD in the App Store or Google Play. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next week to highlight more great opportunities only in Lubbock ISD.
This has been a production of the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.
That's the goal of Lubbock ISD's Byron Martin Advanced Technology Center. Taking career and technology education courses at this state-of-the-art facility will set you on a pathway to an exciting career. You'll learn the skills you need from highly trained staff to enter college or the workforce with a head start on your dream career. Whether your dream is to become a plumber or a police officer, an educator or an electrician, an architect or an auto technician, a nurse or a newscaster, a welder or a webmaster, the Byron Martin ATC is the place to get started. Along with receiving weighted credit and industry certification in most courses, Byron Martin ATC students have gained state and national recognition for excellence in their fields of study. Our local and global market is searching for leaders just like you that can lead their businesses into the future. Courses at the Byron Martin ATC will give you hands-on training, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. Skills that can lead you to a career that is fast-growing and top-paying. At the Byron Martin Advanced Technology Center, we're prepared to help you get your life, your future, and your career started on the right path. If you're ready to explore your dream career, call our campus, set up a time to visit, or visit our website.
No matter what your dream is, don't be afraid to dream big. Join us at the Byron Martin Advanced Technology Center.
And it looks like we are in for a special finale.
Lubbock ISD celebrated the 40th year of Band Extravaganza with a fantastic performance by our middle and high school marching bands. Middle school feeders joined together to perform in the stands, and our high school bands put on their UIL shows. Everyone enjoyed a great performance by the Goin' Band, and to wrap it up, our middle and high school bands joined together on the field to play happy. Hodges Elementary students took part in a special presentation with the International Cultural Center. They learned about different music, dance, and art from around the globe.
Samba, you used to do like karate, but not actually hit people. They made a little changes, so like they just like put drums and they just step up, step down, step up, step down.
Atmos Energy surprised students and staff at Harwell Elementary. Employees collected school supplies for the campus, and then Atmos also made a generous monetary donation.
It's about supporting the teachers, it's about supporting the staff to make sure they have what they need to continue to educate so these young, bright minds can accomplish their goals and dreams in life.
Shout out to HEB for their donation to Lubbock ISD's AgriSTEM complex. The grocery chain provided $25,000 to support agricultural education in our district, helping to cultivate future industry leaders.
Getting them ready for the workforce is something that we're very passionate about. So to be able to give those opportunities and those resources to you, to give them to those students, is something that's very important, and we couldn't be more proud.
The Talkington School for Young Women Leaders celebrated homecoming with a fun pep rally before their big volleyball game. Students and staff took part in fun activities and cheers to pep up the Lady Warriors. Health science students at the Byron Martin Advanced Technology Center took part in a special ceremony. They received their scrubs to start off-site practicum studies. Students read their oaths of service aloud in front of family and friends, and then celebrated with photos in the foyer.
Next step is clinicals. So we get to go to both Covenant and United and work in like a real pharmacy setting.
Outside from me personally, I get to work at a surgery center. I get to help and do heart surgeries.
Now you're in the loop with Lubbock ISD.
All right, we are back here at Lowry Field at PlainsCapital Park. Less than 5 minutes ago in your halftime break. Of course, the Pirates on top of the Mustangs, 28-0. Devin Ward here alongside Carson Ward and our entire Lubbock ISD TV crew. We thank you for tuning in tonight. The Ward duo's back, and I couldn't be more excited. Carson, kind of a rough first half for the Mustangs. Great first half on the other side for the Pirates, and we got some highlights we want to get into from the first half. Of course, when you think of the highlights from the first half, you got to look at the score a little bit, and it's going to be one-sided when it comes to the highlights. Of course, here's Parrish scrambling for his life. You know, I like what he's done offensively. You know, he's been taking care of the football. He's not forced anything downfield, and that's been impressive to see. But, of course, he's been feeling pressure all night from that defense.
He's been feeling pressure, but he's been making the right reads. He's been making the right calls. Taking off and scrambling with your legs is very uncomfortable as a quarterback, but he's been making the right calls whenever he can.
Of course, Alan Gant there strips that ball away from Rodriguez. That was a major highlight from the first half if you're a Coronado fan, because they were driving down the field. They were up 7-0 at that point. The Pirates were looking like they were about to go up 14-0, but Gant stole it away. Surreal Garrett, for real with Surreal has been a highlight for him as well on the offensive end. Got my words tangled up there. But as you see here in the highlight reel, it's just been continuous pressure by that Lubbock Cooper defense as Coronado couldn't get anything rolling. Of course, the Pirates quick to strike back. They get a great play there with Jackson Austin. He's been excellent. Of course, here's an over-the-top play. Oh, and there was the Sports Center top 10 play that we were talking about earlier. We didn't thought he hauled it in, but he did. Capped off by a Jackson Austin touchdown.
And it's just been impressive to see how many different ways Lubbock Cooper has been able to get the ball into their playmakers' hands, but also how they've been able to take advantage of certain opportunities.
Want to tip our cap to our instant replay operator tonight, Caleb Galbraith. Seeing all these different angles, cutting between different shots, that is impressive to see. I know he had to edit that during halftime. As we continue on with these highlights, Jackson Austin here, he scampers in for the score. The offense has been doing some great things. Of course, that was the one that gave them the 21-0 lead, and then this pass to Jaden Hibbler has a 6-play, 59-yard drive to give them the 28-0 lead, and that's what did. That's the first half, and here's your stats that you need to know. And if you're looking on the left column, you're looking great. If you're looking on the right column and you start seeing negative signs, you don't like to see that from a half.
You don't, but that just goes to show that Lubbock Cooper has been playing some terrific defense. And I think terrific is an understatement, considering that they're holding Coronado to negative 30 total yards.
Coronado's punted the ball 5 times tonight to Lubbock Cooper's 0. And then another stat, Coronado's done really well with trying to stay off of the penalties. I had it circled here moments ago, and now I'm not seeing it. But it's been Lubbock Cooper's game tonight. Coronado's looking to turn things around in the second half. We're going to take one more pause. We've got less than 2 minutes until we end the halftime break. We're going to take And we couldn't be more excited to be back here in the booth, of course. I just told Carson this, and we'll let everybody in the truck know, come fourth quarter time, I'm giving the keys to the show to Carson. You know, we're all about teaching and growing our future journalists and broadcasters, and so I want Carson to have a shot doing play-by-play, and we're going to give him the entire fourth quarter tonight. I'll put the bow on the show at the end of it, but I'm looking forward to hearing you, Carson.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the chance.
My goal is come Monterey Coronado, it's you and another student up here, and I'm not here.
I like the goal. I like the goal. I've always appreciated your goal like that.
I like the goal. All right, here's the kick. It's going to be Jaden Hibbler on the return, stutter stepping and making some great moves, and he'll be tackled at the 36-yard line, and that's where the Pirates will start the ball.
And it was a shorter kick right there by Coronado, and it just gave Hibbler that room to make the play with his feet.
So here comes this offense for Lubbock Cooper. Of course, they had tremendous success behind Ryan Rodriguez. He completed 8 of 9 passes for 2 touchdowns in the first half. Jaden Hibbler, Michael Dever, and Jackson Austin really doing a lot of the work, though, on the offensive side of the ball. Hibbler with 56 yards, Dever with 30 yards, and Jackson with 19 yards. It's been impressive to watch this Pirate offense work. As Hibbler gets the rock on the first play, he'll gain a few on it.
Well, and it just feels like Cooper has been able to do anything that they want on the offensive side of the ball. And not that nothing has gone wrong, but what has gone wrong, they've easily countered.
Absolutely. If you're Coronado, you want to get a stop here on this first drive so that you can get your offense the ball back and get something rolling. You see them looking to the sideline here, getting the plays from their coaches. You see Coach Mann a few yards out. Of course, he's had to take a new role this season, Carson, because he had so many assistant coaches leave or get, all of them get advancements at different places. And that's what you want to see from your assistant coaches. It means you're doing something right, is if they're getting hired for a bigger position at a different school.
Well, but then it also brings a new responsibility on you. You're not just in charge of your whole team anymore. Like we've mentioned in previous games with Coronado, how Isaiah Vasquez moves through the pocket. We've noted that he's probably got one-on-one coaching with Coach Mann. Yep. So that means that Coach Mann has had to take on new coaching roles and just supervising the entire team.
It is clean how he moves through the pocket. Of course, Coronado's starting Parrish tonight because Vasquez is still a little banged up, but you see him down there suited up on the sideline, or I did earlier tonight. I don't see him now, but he was down there and he was an option. He is down there. I see him now, but a flag is on the play. We're going to hear from Coach Blackwood for the first time this second half.
Holding on the offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still third down.
All right, so that's going to back him up. Here's the instant replay of it. You can kind of see the holding. Get slung down right there. Kind of a high tackle as he was sliding. This will be third down and 17.
I was about to say, that could have also been called a face mask, and that's what I thought the initial penalty was over.
And when you see the quarterback sliding and giving themselves up, you're not supposed to touch them at all.
And
right?
it's for this quarterback safety, and it's for your safety too. If you're grabbing the face mask of your opponent, that your fingers can easily get caught up in that. Could break a finger, something could go wrong very quickly.
Rodriguez has to scoop that ball off the ground as it was snapped to him, throws it away, and here comes the punt team for the first time tonight. The Pirates are punting the football. You talk about little wins in the first half, Carson. That's a win right there for the Coronado defense.
I was actually just about to say that. The small victories are what Coronado needs to capitalize on, because if you're Coronado right now, my mantra and what I told you in halftime, we forget what happened the first half. This is a new half. We're playing this like a completely new game, and we're going to hopefully go out and do the things that we have been able to do the past 2 games to give us this 2-game winning streak.
It was kind of a high punt, landed in a short distance away. It wasn't not, but it gets the friendly roll there. And so here come the Mustangs starting in their own territory at about the 34-yard line.
So, Mr. Ward, I'm going to ask you now.
Yeah.
If you're Coronado, you have negative 30 yards of total offense. How do you get the ball rolling?
I think you got to hand the ball off to Demarion Finch. I like when they stretch the field. I really do. You have some playmakers on the outside that they're playing man-man coverage on them. And so it's a 1v1 battle. As you see here, there's only 2 defenders on 3 receivers down below. You got to hit one of these guys here. It's going to fall incomplete there. The linebacker stepped in front of the receiver.
That was number 5, Cole Stanzioni.
On the defense.
On the defensive side of the ball, making the play.
There's not a number 13 on our roster for Coronado. Of course, there's been a lot of movement on the roster, right, with the Mustangs. There's some additions. So it's 2nd down and 10. See, I liked how they went to the air on that first down, right, because it opens up the running. But the Pirate defense all over Parrish. He'll gain a couple on the play. He had to fight for those 2 yards right there, but you love that from your quarterback.
You do, but on the flip side of things, that is one of the many strengths that this Lubbock Cooper defense has. They are very, very well versed against the run. They have been all season, and they know what to expect whenever they see a mobile quarterback in the pocket.
I bet they go down here on this bottom hash. See, it's a one-on-one receiver and a bunch of space near him. They just need a step of separation. It's 3rd and 8. Parrish looking to his left. Feeling some pressure. He's going to be flushed from the pocket. He's going to get a 1st down and more. He's going to go across the 50-yard line. Move the chains. Parrish with the carry.
And like I was saying earlier last half, the small victories, getting 1 1st down at a time, that's what's really going to start building some momentum for Coronado. And it's taking every single win, every single little win with a grain of salt. You know, you're wanting to push more and more into it, and the more you can capitalize on it, like I mentioned earlier, the better off and more momentum you'll get.
Parrish feeling the pressure again, and he'll get popped at the line of scrimmage. He might gain 1 yard on the play. Again, immediately feeling pressure from this Pirate defensive line as he got flushed from the pocket. It's going to be 2nd down and 9. He looked to throw the ball downfield right there. As you see him, he's going through multiple reads. Thought about throwing it. And then, it's one of those things that he was getting hit from 3 different angles, and he's going to feel that one tomorrow.
He is, and I've loved how he's been able to step up in the pocket, but as a coach, you're really, really afraid of that and possibly your backup quarterback getting hurt.
Oh, Parrish takes it himself there, and I agree, right? You have to think about those hits that he's taking over and over again, but then there's the benefit of him tucking and running. 1st down Mustangs.
I don't know, if I'm a coach, that still gives me a heart attack.
Yeah, especially when, but you see Vasquez down there on the sideline. He looks suited up, and he looks available tonight if they want to go to him. He's standing behind those coaches there that were calling the play. So you have another option at quarterback, and if it's working for you, like you always say, Carson, why fix it, right?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as we see that same shift to the Wildcat that we have probably 3 times already this game.
Yeah, it's Andres Flores with the direct snap, and he's going to be brought down from behind. That was a tough tackle there. He won't gain hardly anything on that, maybe a yard or 2. That was a tough tackle. Look at this instant replay here, Carson. The defender grabbed him from the front and then from back behind his pads to sling him down. Flores, of course, a 5'9" senior, listed as a defensive back and a receiver, lining up in the backfield, 2nd and 9. Flores motions. It's going to be a handoff to Finch. And once again, by the time they handed that ball off, the defensive line was in the backfield as Jackson Sewell will get credit for the tackle. Literally, the ball was snapped, hands the ball off, and Sewell's right there. Great move to get inside of that offensive lineman right there to get to the running back right away.
Well, and what many would think of a bad offensive line job, it's not that at all. It's the fact that this defensive line is just outworking every single fiber in their own body. They are getting back in the backfield as quick as they can.
Yeah, look at that.
This offensive line just can't handle it. They can't do anything about it, but that's not their wrongdoing.
Yeah, Parrish there had nothing going. It's the moves that they make. They're taught this in practice, right? They do the swim moves. They do the cuts. They move, the way they move their arms and the way they move their feet pre-snap. It's so hard. to be able to block. And, you know, you always have it in the back of your head if you're a lineman, right? Like, oh, and here's going to be a flag. We're going to hear from our officiating crew. Well, I believe they might have. Nope, here he is. So he did not get it back to the line of scrimmage. Of course, it's going to be a loss of down and loss of some serious yardage here for the Mustangs.
Punting for your
So back comes the punt unit after a promising drive that got some key first downs. The Mustangs are having to punt it away. That was a 9-play drive.
And we've noted in the past that time of possession wins games. Both of these teams have been fairly equal in time of possession. After the half, I believe Cooper had around 13 minutes and Coronado only had around 10. But that hasn't been the key to this game of controlling the ball, draining the clock, not giving your opponent a chance to of much time to do anything. It's been more so just the big plays that Cooper has been able to make and capitalize on.
Y'all saw there the punt for the Mustangs. It was kind of a botched snap, kind of low. Owens had to gather it in and get it off. Luckily, Cooper didn't bring any pressure, was immediately dropping everybody back. Otherwise, that could have been some trouble for the Mustang special teams unit. So here comes this Pirate offense. What is the second time here in the second half? Of course, they had to punt for the first time last time around. See if the Mustang defense can do it again. It's going to be a handoff to thought that was Jackson Austin for a second. It wasn't, though. It was Bryson Carlisle, and he'll get a solid gain on that play. Carlisle made an appearance as the last play in the first half, and you see number 22, a third option for them out there in that running back room.
Well, and it's just nice to have depth at any position, but especially your running backs, because with being a running back, there comes a lot of fatigue, you know. And I know the offensive linemen right now are screaming at me, because I know, trust me, I feel y'all. Y'all are down in the trenches every single play. But running back it's very nice to have a lot of running backs that we can just motion them in and out, get everybody reps, but also give everybody rest.
Carlisle on the carry. He's going to be stopped about a yard short on that play. Great pursuit angles by that Coronado defense. And again, we talk about outside containment all the time. It was the outside containment by that Coronado Coronado outside linebacker that didn't allow them to be able to bounce it outside there. They had to cut it back in, and the defense was there.
And that's what's nice about having your two leading tacklers being your outside linebackers, because it is more manageable for them to have a better pursuit angle than, say, your strong safety or your free safety or a cornerback. They're strategically positioned on part of the field that gives them the best opportunity to make a tackle.
Carlisle's going to push forward and get the first down right there. The box for Coronado had 8 players in it right there. They were playing man defense on the outside, and Carlisle still pushes forward for enough to get a first down for the Pirates. See the sidelines right there. I see Coach Poe for the Pirates. It's a good dude, big fan of him. He's an energy guy for them. You know Coach Poe.
I do. I actually played for him in 5th grade. He was my I don't remember, my Cooper League football coach, I think is what it was. He was I don't remember what the league name was.
Jaden Hibbler's going to be taken down for a serious loss on the play. He didn't gather in the snap right there, and it was just trying to make something out of nothing there. The Coronado defense on top of him.
And that's number 21, Zacavian Washington.
Showing his speed, too. You know, that's some, like, secondary level speed right there from a linebacker. That's impressive right there. You're looking at him, number 21, Zacavian Washington. Of course, like Carson said at the beginning of the show tonight, 11.6 tackles per game, I think is what his numbers were.
11.6, that is correct.
That's, again, double digits. Tackled number is just impressive. That ball is going to fall incomplete. It's going to be 3rd down and 26. Yeah, if you're Coronado's defense, you're liking what you're doing here to start the second half.
Now, on the flip side, though, if you're the offense, you're wanting to build off of this momentum in any way you can. It's just been so hard for you to get anything going because Lubbock Cooper's defense has been stout. all game long.
Yeah, they've been all gas, no brakes on that side of the ball. It is really impressive. Or actually, I guess technically they've been putting the brakes on the Coronado offense.
Right.
So 3rd and 26 now. It's going to be another handoff. And Coronado's all over it. It's going to cause a long 4th down. And so now Coronado's 2 for 2 on defense, forcing Lubbock Cooper to punt here in the second half.
Well, and Coronado just having that defense step up. You know, we've been talking about how defense wins championships.
Yep.
And the fact of the matter is, your defense is starting to make plays against our offense. Now, if you can turn...
Oh, and a bad snap. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Carson. Cub Patton's just going to have to kick it out of the end zone, and it's going to go as a safety. So the Mustangs are going to get on the board after a snap that went over Cub Patton's head. And it's going to be 28-2 now. It's a unique way to get points, but if you're Coronado, you'll take it, right, Carson?
You will definitely take that. I'm wondering if Cub Patton thought that would have been a touchback, or if he I know he purposely did it, but
yeah, he probably thought the defenders were right on top of him. And he did have multiple defenders right behind him. You see them there, kind of in his neighborhood, as he kicked it through the back of the end zone. But now they're going to have to punt the ball to the Mustangs.
That was definitely interesting. I don't really know what to say about that.
You know, there's few times in Carson's tenure up here in the booth with me, he's been a loss for words, and this is one of them. So here you are. You see them lining up at the 20-yard line. They're going to kick the ball away to the Mustangs. So the Mustangs, because the wind is hitting Cub Patton in the face, you got to think they're going to have some good field position to be able to start this next drive. You see the coaches telling the players from Coronado to back up, though.
We also know that Cub Patton has a boot for a leg.
He does, and here's the end over end kick. It will bounce at the 18 and gathered in at about the 15. Oh, and this great special teams play by the Cooper special teams unit as they swallow up the Mustang. We talked about hopeful great field position. The Pirates had other plans.
Well, and that's what's so hard to decipher as a return man, is that you're trying to get that outside edge, and sometimes by doing that, you have to run backwards a little bit, maybe by 5 yards or so.
Right.
And that's what number 1, Alan Gant, tried to do right there. And he was trying to get outside the numbers, get the outside edge, but it actually cost him at least 5 yards, if not a little bit more.
Yep. No, you're exactly right. You see that all the time, too, and it doesn't matter what level it's at. You see them trying to, they'll go backwards a few yards so they can try to gain more. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. Bad snap there, and Dom Parrish is just going to try to go forward and maybe gain half a yard after that. You see here on the instant replay, it bounced to him before it got to him.
And just a good effort right there by him just to try to get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. That's really all you can do right there in that instance.
Absolutely. Most of the time, the quarterback just jumps on it, so you like to see that he tried to get something out of it. 2nd and 10, 2:03 to go here in the 3rd quarter. The clock has been rolling. Of course, this is a District 1 5A battle between these two teams. The 7th meeting all time between these two programs. Coronado won the first one and then won the 2020 battle, but Cooper has won the rest. They lead the series 4-2. High snap this time around to Dom Parrish. He gathers it in and has a seam. Great blocking in front of him. And 2nd down and long becomes 3rd and short. Maybe he got the first down, maybe. It's going to come down to the spot, and they give it to him. Move the chains.
What a run.
It's just the physicality of him right there.
That is, but that's why he's labeled an athlete, you know? Running into his own man, but still churning the legs, getting the first down.
You see how many Pirates were right there tackling him, and he still landed forward? That's impressive. That's the weight room in him. Dom Parrish keeping it here. Made the right decision, loses the ball momentarily, and he falls on it. He immediately felt pressure, Carson, and tucked the ball and ran. I thought he made the right move because you saw the defenders bite on that pump fake, and he gained 9 on the play.
And almost an unfortunate break for Coronado with him losing the ball right there, but fortunately falling on it, and that might be the difference in this drive, ending in more points for Coronado.
You know, we were talking about comparisons, and there's going to be a false start. We were talking about comparisons earlier, I'm going to hear from Coach Blackwood right here.
5-yard penalty, second down.
You know, you compared Don Parrish to Donovan Smith. I kind of see a little bit of Jamarcus Smith in him, the quarterback / wide receiver / running back for Monterey, when he was thrust into action last year as the quarterback, right? He can run the ball really effectively. He can throw the ball when he needs to, but he can provide some juice as well to the team. I don't know. We were talking comparisons earlier, and I kind of thought about that. Just about how elusive he is. On second down, it's Demarion Finch going nowhere. The defense swallowed him up. It was Cole Stanzioni.
Well, and I like that comparison that you just made, comparing him to Jamarcus Smith, because the fact of the matter is, you want your quarterback to be an athlete, right? You want him to be able to be mobile and to move out of the pocket when he has to, but then you also want him to have that arm and get the over the top shot whenever he can. And that just goes with being an athlete, hitting the weight room, getting stronger, getting bigger, and being more physical on the football field.
So after a 9-play drive this last time around for the Mustangs, this is going to be play number 7 for them as they get a first down off of that face mask. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. It's 28-2. If you're counting little wins, the Mustangs blanked the Pirates in that third quarter and technically won the third quarter, leading 2-0. And so we talk about little positives. That's a major positive for the Mustangs.
That is a major positive, and the only reason why that is a major positive is because you haven't had anything else go your way this game. But with them winning the third quarter, like you just noted, that might be able to lead to some more points, hopefully some more touchdowns. I'm rooting for my team here, and hopefully some more touchdowns and some more points for Coronado.
Well, you're going to have to take off that biased tack because you're about to be doing play-by-play. When we come back, it's 28-2, fourth quarter action. We'll be right back after this. All right, we're back. Carson, it's your turn. I want you to do the play-by-play. I want to see you grow as a broadcaster. So from now on, it's your show until the very end. I'm just along for the ride.
All right, let's do it. There's a deep shot right there to Cyril Garrett, but it falls incomplete on the near side of the field. Now we see Cyril Garrett coming off to the sideline now.
Yeah, you often see that a lot of times, Carson, whenever a receiver, sprints like that and tries to go downfield. You often see them take the next play off, but instantly get back on the field most of the times right after that.
Well, and you know that they're giving their all into that route, especially the streak or the fade that goes deep onto on the deep side of the field. And they might just want a quick water break and get right back out there. There's a handoff to Demarion Finch, and that's not going to go anywhere.
Now, the defensive line and the linebacking core for the Pirates just came in and swallowed him up. He had no chance trying to go off the B gap of that right guard right there, and his 3 white uniforms and white jerseys just taking him down.
And that was Alan Gant. Sorry for the misinterpretation.
It happens sometimes.
As we see the twin-headed dragon formation again, like you noted earlier, Mr. Ward. 3-step drop. That's going to fall in and out of the hands.
Yeah, it was a little short there, intended for Cavante Carr. Carr had a stepped on that defender there. It just falls incomplete, but I believe we have an interview, don't we, Carson?
I think we do.
We'll send it down to Tristan. Tristan, what do you got for us down there?
opportunity, and I just love everyone, and I'm thankful for everyone that voted for me. Thank y'all.
And what do you think about going to school tomorrow, knowing that you are Coronado High School's homecoming queen?
Well, we have our homecoming dance, so I'm really excited, and for our homecoming king, and I think it's going to be a really fun first homecoming dance.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. Congratulations, and back to you, Mr. Ward.
All right, thanks so much, Tristan. Carson, it's your show once again. You do your thing, man.
Well, first off, I want to say congratulations to Alyssa Villalobos of getting named the 2023-2024 homecoming queen.
Yeah, you voted for her, you said.
I did.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that, but we did.
I did.
So congratulations.
Congratulations, Alyssa. And congratulations to Real. I know you're playing right now, but I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, he was the homecoming king. That's pretty cool.
There's a run right there up the middle for a gain of, looks like 3 yards.
Yeah, it's a new quarterback in the game, Carson. It's Jake Qualia. And Qualia has seen some snaps this season at the quarterback position. But that kind of tells you where we're at in the game if you see a new quarterback checking in.
Well, and now that makes you wonder, are there going to be more backups in various spots on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, just getting their backups reps? As we see a pistol formation in the backfield with 2 receivers. It's going to be a play action. Bootleg to the right. Is that caught?
No, it fell incomplete there, Carson. It was intended for Michael Dever. Dever's had himself a night here tonight, Carson. It's just one of those things right there, slightly underthrown, but it was all the play action and the deception rolling to his right that allowed him to have that separation and the space to be able to make something happen, just coming up a little short.
My eyes fooled me. I thought he caught it for a second. I never saw the ball pop out.
But now it's going to be 3rd down and 7. And as of right now, the Coronado defense is 2 for 2 in this half of forcing punts. Can they go 3 for 3?
And we see trips on the far side of the field. As there's a screen pass to the running back, and he's got room.
Yeah, that's Jaden Hibbler. Oh, and he's going to get clobbered out of bounds. He's looking for a flag there, Carson. But that's a great gain, and he's going to be tackled at about the 40.
Just a great run, great pursuit by the running back. You don't really hear that too often, but I know you're picking up what I'm putting down here when I say that.
I'm smelling what you're stepping in. There is some dirty laundry on the field. We're going to hear from our official.
Still 3rd down.
Okay, so that was a penalty going against one of the offensive linemen for the Pirates. Of course, the Pirates, their offensive line coach is Lee Hayes. Lee Hayes is a former Texas Tech offensive line coach under Cliff Kingsbury. And so we talk about great coaches. Of course, they have one on that offensive staff for Lubbock Cooper.
And what do they not have that's above average, if not better than above average? You know, they're
pretty talented across the board.
They are.
And I'm a big fan of their head coach. Chip Darden is a class act through and through.
2-step drop. And a pass over the left side of the field on the left numbers. It's going to be a little overthrown for number 3, Michael Dever.
Yeah, just out of the reach of Dever there by maybe a step or two. You know that, of course, that is a second quarterback coming in Qualia. And sometimes it's just, you know, do they have enough time in practice to make those passes and, you know, have the communication and the connection that maybe the other quarterback that was in the game earlier has with Ryan Rodriguez.
Well,
but I think both of these guys can do a lot of great things with the football and offense.
I agree, and wow, what a punt was that.
Yeah, Cub Patton sent that one into next week. And oh, my goodness.
What a punt.
That's going to be down at the 3-yard line, Carson.
He sent that ball into the stratosphere.
Yeah, I looked up and I saw the moon is what I saw.
That's exactly what I saw. That, I mean, it was a botch snap, and he got all of that punt. He got all of it.
Carson, you enjoying doing play-by-play?
It's different. It's different.
It's
I like
a different
it, though.
Approach. It's a lot more talking.
It is a lot more talking, but it's also like I know what I want to say. I just don't know how to put it into words because color's a lot different than play-by-play.
Yeah, you got to think quick and talk quick doing play-by-play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so with that right there, with that punt though, Carson, the Coronado defense is now 3 for 3 at stopping this the Lubbock Cooper offense here in the second half.
But now if you're the Coronado offense, You need to be able to turn this into points. We only have 9 minutes and 48 seconds left to play. That's not a lot of time.
No, and the time is now. Like we've said it multiple times, it is literally now because you're down 26 points. That's 4 possessions, right? And with 9 minutes to go, if you want to do anything and have a chance to have a spark and a life in this game for Coronado, the time is now.
Well, and whenever you're playing as talented of a team as Lubbock Cooper, the time is now from the moment the first kickoff starts and is kicked. You know, you don't have time to really feel them out. You just have to go. As there's a jet sweep that's not going to go anywhere, only going to get to the 2-yard line.
Andres Flores with the carry there, and that was scary kind of looking at it, Carson, because as he was trying to hit that outside edge, there was a whole swarm of Lubbock Cooper Pirates there waiting for him. They read that like a book, and he had no chance.
Well, and the left tackle, whenever he blocked, he was getting pushed into the end zone, which made Andre had to run around him, and that could have been ultra bad for Coronado because that could have easily turned into a safety if the defense would have gotten to Andre Flores a little bit quicker.
You look here on your screen, Carson, you got trips and only 2 defenders there. Of course, you'll have that roaming safety that will come back over the top. Trying not to step out of the back of the end zone, though.
And there's going to be a pass complete. Was a low throw, but the ball placed right where the defender couldn't get it. And like you mentioned, Parrish having to be very careful to not step out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, that pass was completed to Major Vera. First time we've called his name tonight. Of course, he's a 5'9" junior. This team is loaded with a lot of juniors, Carson, and I see a lot of sophomores, not a lot of 12s on the roster, which tells me the future is extremely bright for this team because they continue to get more and more reps.
Well, and not only that, but the more team chemistry they have, because these guys are friends outside of the football
Sorry.
field.
Oh, and it's muffed. Coronado's got a chance to jump on it, but Lubbock Cooper is going to come away with it. I didn't mean to cut you off there. That was just a big moment right there in the play.
You are just fine, Mr. Ward. Don't even apologize.
I'm giving you the keys again. You're play-by-play. I apologize. That's just the play-by-play guy in me, you know? I'm like, oh, my gosh, we got to talk about what's happening.
Hey, I don't mind it. I don't mind at all.
It's all a learning process up here, right? Part of Lubbock ISD and our mission statement is producing professionals. And, right, this is how we're trying to do it. It's real-world experience where we're giving the opportunity to our students like you, Carson, like Diego last week, like Jonas last week, and many others that we have in the upcoming future, a chance to have the headset on and do it in real life. This is how you learn is going out and doing it, and you're doing it.
And there's going to be a run in between the right guard and right tackle for a good gain.
Yeah, it's Bryson Carlisle on that carry, and you see the pulling tackle right there. Be able to create that gap for him to be able to cut it back inside and gain 9 yards on the play.
And now we have an injured Coronado Mustang. I cannot tell what number he is.
That's Willie Parker. I was able to snag a look at his number as he was rolling over a second ago. And you don't like the way he's reacting there on the field. You can tell he's clearly in a lot of pain.
You don't, but we're going to take a break. We wish Willie Parker all the best.
Yes, and of course, all of our breaks are UMC Children's Hospital timeouts, so we'll be back right after this.
Welcome back to Friday Night Lights. We have 7 minutes and 15 seconds left in this fourth quarter as Lubbock Cooper is trying to get one more score to ice this game away.
Yeah, wearing those ice-out jerseys. It's Carlisle there. Great run.
Great run in pistol formation. Just a great run, hard run right there by Carlisle. You love to see that from your running backs.
You know, this is a guy right here that just looks tough, right? You see that neck pad You don't see that very much anymore nowadays, is guys wearing the neck pads, and Carlisle out there wearing it. And to me, that just screams toughness. I don't know about you.
I couldn't agree more. But what I would like to focus on is how Carlisle was corralling the ball right there, making sure that no matter what happens, he's not losing control of it. As he gets the ball again, he's going to run into a wall.
Yeah, I thought that was really impressive right there. J.J. Johnson really had the offensive lineman on him, but very last second threw that tackle off of him to be able to make a tackle on Carlisle and limit him to only 2 yards on that play.
And now we start to see the clock just slowly melt away. This is what Cooper wants to do. They're inside the 10-yard line. They're wanting some more points, but more importantly, they want to take the clock away and give Coronado very little hope.
It's a clock game. That's exactly what you're doing here.
This could be a keeper here. For Qualia, I believe is still in the game.
Yeah, Qualia with that carry there, and he had a couple options. He read the running back. He could have handed it there. He also had a receiver that he could have pitched it out to outside, and if he was able to make that pitch to the receiver here on this outside, I think he would have been able to scamper in for the score. But if you're Coronado, you'll take it here because it's 3rd and 3.
I couldn't agree more, but I also think that one of the reasons why Qualia wanted to keep it is just to keep the clock rolling. Yep. You know, they're pretty confident that they're going to at least get a field goal right here inside the 5-yard line, and there's another handoff. Actually, it's a keeper. Qualia is going to scamper in for the touchdown. Give him 6.
Hey, give him 6. I see you, Carson. Yeah, he as you're going to see here on this instant replay, he kept it. And he went in untouched, right? And that goes to the blockers in front of him that established dominance at that line of scrimmage and did what they wanted to do as they score for the first time here in the second half.
And just knowing when to pull it and run yourself, that's a quarterback's instinct by Jake Qualia. And the PAT is up and good.
So that was a 6-play, 58. Scratch that 68-yard drive for the Pirates. Capped off by the Qualia touchdown run. That's effective.
That is.
Right, that's over 10 yards of play.
And whenever you're just melting the clock as well as getting those gains, I mean, I don't know how to describe it. That's just beautiful. It's beautiful.
And that's what you want. As a play caller and as an offense is execution at the highest of levels. When you go back and watch film, it's these drives right here that the coaches are going to circle saying, this is what we did really well. We need to do this consistently, and if you can do that consistently, you will be able to do some things in this 5A race, right? District is here. This is when you want to be thriving and driving, and Lubbock Cooper here coming off of their bye week. They were looking for their first district win. Of course, Coronado is 1-0 in district play after winning last week. But if you're Lubbock Cooper, you're going to chalk this one up as a major win tonight.
And now you're wondering if this game is going to set the tone for the rest of district play for Lubbock Cooper. As there's an end-over-end kick. I'm using all your terms tonight.
That's all right. You can have them.
And he's got some room. He's being shifty.
Oh, man. Carson's at a loss for words there. It's Alan Gant.
I am. And a kip-up after that. He's excited.
Yeah, that's an electrifying player right there. I know he is a next-level athlete that Coronado has, and that he's received, I believe, an offer from Texas Tech. If that sounds correct. And you see why, right? He's breaking away from tackles. He's elusive. He's not going to be dropped after getting hit the first time. It took 2 Pirates to take him down there.
But now with great starting field position, you have to get your offense into the end zone because you're down by 33 with sub 5 minutes left. You know you're not going to be able to make this comeback happen, but you got to be able to take something into next week. You haven't been able to do much offensively, and you got to be able to take something into next week and to build on that momentum, hopefully, going into the next week.
Parrish breaking away from a couple tackles and will be tackled down. Carson, you want to look ahead at some of the schedules that we have for both these teams?
Let's do it.
Okay, up next for Coronado, the Mustangs are going to be on the road and face a tough Amarillo High Sandy's team on Thursday, the 12th. After that, on the 12th, or so technically Coronado's on their bye week next week, and then we'll go that Thursday to face Amarillo. Then they'll be home hosting Abilene High at 4 p.m. on the 20th. Back-to-back tough games, but positive is that they have their bye week to rehab, get healthy, and to fix what they did wrong here tonight.
And just clobbered behind the line of scrimmage is Joshua Villalobos.
Yeah, that's a new quarterback checking in the game for Coronado. I think this is the first time all year that I've seen Villalobos out there, which kind of tells you, Carson, that even though Isaiah Vasquez was suited up tonight, right, he might not have been ready to go tonight.
Well, and I think it was a day-to-day evaluation.
Yeah.
I think if he didn't feel 100%, he wasn't going in. And now, being late in the game, you don't want to get him more hurt than he already was, and you want to make sure he has a full recovery instead of just throwing him into a situation that he doesn't necessarily have to be in. As Villalobos is scrambling to his right, he's going to throw on the run, and it's going to hit his receiver in the arm.
Yeah, he was trying to hit Davian Lopez there out in the flats. Lopez, though, had his back to him, and it's just going to fall incomplete. And once again, it's the quarterback having to run for his life, Carson. You got to tip your cap to the front seven for Lubbock Cooper. They are doing what they want, getting pressure on the quarterback every play, and that's a nightmare for a quarterback.
Well, and it's like I said earlier, it's not that the offensive line has been bad. It's been the defensive line that has just been controlling the point of attack down in the trenches. And we're going to see another punt from Jared Owens. It's an end over end kick.
Yeah, he has the wind in his face this time, and we'll roll out of bounds at the 20. Hey, I hear we have another sideline report, and I don't mean to cut you off because you're doing a great job doing play-by-play, but let's send it on down to Tristan. I hear we're talking mariachi. What do you got, Tristan?
Mr. Garza, this is the first year Coronado has had its own full mariachi, a beginning, non-varsity, and varsity group. How do you feel about that? It must be very honored.
Oh, absolutely. I'm super excited. We've expanded this opportunity. It started off with just a small group of kiddos 2 years ago. Last year, we had our first competing ensemble. This year, I'm happy to welcome a lot more kiddos from our feeder middle schools and open up opportunities to other kiddos who didn't know mariachi existed, and now they get the chance to play some music.
And I've heard that the mariachi is performed at a lot of significant places. Can you tell us some of those amazing places that they have performed?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, last year was the first year that a competing ensemble represented Coronado last year. We went all the way to El Paso to compete, and
well, that's amazing, Mr. Garza. Best of luck to the Coronado High School Mariachi, and back to you, Mr. Ward.
Well, thank you, Tristan.
You know, when he tossed it back saying Mr. Ward, it could be either one of us, man.
It could be both of us.
It's both of us. It's the Ward duo up here tonight. How many times have we said that, though? 3 times tonight and every time on every broadcast.
Yeah, I was about to say we hear Emma in our headsets telling us a lot, and especially since last year, whenever it all started.
It's been a long time coming, is what it is.
It never gets old.
It never gets old, that's right.
As we see a run again by Carlisle.
Yeah, Carlisle's starting to get most of the carries here in the second half, and you know, a lot of times it's all about getting reps. Reps are invaluable. And of course, you see him getting taken down right there. I don't think that was Carlisle, though. I think that was Caden Stanzioni, the 4th running back that I have on the list.
It might have been. It look
22 and 23 look kind of similar, don't they?
They do, especially from up here. And when you don't have the best eyes in the world.
You have great eyes.
I like to think that.
Yeah. Runs in the Ward genes.
And we're just going to slowly see this clock tick away as Qualia throws a screen to the far side of the field. And it's not going to go anywhere.
No, and it was the defense there by Coronado. It was Zacavian Washington not lining up at his outside linebacker position and recognizing the eyes of the quarterback and the way he rotated his feet, going instantly to that receiver. Tip your cap to Washington, reading that perfectly and going and making the open field tackle.
Well, and as a linebacker specifically, you're trained to tell where the quarterback is facing And what I mean by that is how his feet turn, how his shoulders are turned, because wherever his shoulders are pointed is where his target is most likely going to be.
Looking over here at our stats, Carson, that's another 4 and out for Lubbock Cooper. It is their 4th punt in the second half. Coronado is 4 for 5 this second half of getting off of the field, and that's a positive that they're going to be looking to hang their hat on this today.
And like I mentioned earlier, Coach DJ Mann has been really wanting the defense to step up, and they have, and they've been focusing on what's been working. And like I said, for the past 2 games, that's been the defense. The defense has been able to make stops, and the offense has been able to capitalize when they need to. We see another pistol formation by Coronado right now.
Yeah, Villalobos still in at quarterback too.
And it's just going to be a handoff. And it's not going to go anywhere. Not a new sight this game.
No, and it's Ty Jones on the carry, and Jones really didn't have an opportunity to do anything there because that Lubbock Cooper defense, once again, just flying in, and it was the linebacker coming in from that second level as he hit that corner, not allowing him to go anywhere.
Well, a majority of the time, a defense revolves around the linebackers. The defensive backs feed off of the pursuit angles that the linebackers have. And then on the flip side, the defensive line is just doing their job trying to get pressure on the quarterback.
I agree with that. I like that because it all starts and ends with the linebackers and at that second level.
As there's another run, and it's going to get about 4 yards.
I think that's going to do it for the game unless Coronado hurries, Carson.
And I think they would. Clock's going to be ticking down as we have 5 and 4. And then the clock keeps ticking.
Yeah, so with the win, Lubbock Cooper improves to 3 and 2 on the season. Coronado is going to drop to 2 and 4, 1 and 1 in district play.
Mr. Ward, what are your takeaways for this game?
Lubbock Cooper has a great offensive line and a great defensive line. Stands out right away. They also have 2 running backs that can take over a game at any moment. And that sounds like a recipe to me that's going to lead to success not only in district play, but in postseason play. For Coronado, I loved how they responded in the second half. No, they didn't get into the end zone tonight, but their defense showed that they can come out and they can stop the run and they can play with a high-level team that Lubbock Cooper is. And so I'm looking for Coronado to go into their bye week, kind of regroup, get healthy because they have some injuries, and give everything they got to Amarillo High on the 12th. That was a long recap. I apologize.
You're good. I agree. And everything that you said, I would have probably said, but in a shorter version.
Yeah, right. Carson, good job.
Thank
of course,
you.
Carson gave it a go in the 4th quarter as the play-by-play, and we'll be looking forward to hearing him back next time. But until we see you guys again on the Lubbock ISD YouTube channel, we thank you guys for tuning in tonight. It's the Pirates beating the Mustangs. We'll be back soon with more action from Lowry Field at PlainsCapital Park. But until then, stay happy and healthy, everyone.
This has been a production of the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.